Is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you.
What are you doing?
Calling around to get the best rate on a car loan.
Why? Everyone knows Alcoa 10 is the best choice to purchase a vehicle or refinance your current loan. And with low interest rates and 90 days to your first payment, it's a no-brainer. You can even apply online and sign all the documents from the convenience of your home.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Alcoa 10 Credit Union. It's so easy. Go to atfcu.com for details. Rates are dependent on credit score and equal housing lender.
With smartphones being such an integral part of our daily lives, it is truly an inconvenience when it doesn't work properly. It disrupts the normalcy of our day. When you go into the cell phone store to have it repaired, they just try to upsell you on a new phone. That's why the owner of Eyedrop, T. Kell, left those places and opened Eyedrop. His goal is a happy customer. T. Kell and the team will listen to what you have going on and work to solve the problem of your broken device in a way that best suits your needs. Instead of trying to upsell you on something that you just don't need. They don't just repair phones, they can service your laptop or PC as well as your Mac. Windows 7 support is over, but Eyedrop can help you transition to Windows 10. They have a 5-star rating on Google with hundreds of positive reviews. Let me say that again. I don't think y'all understand how big this is. They have a 5-star rating on Google. Their customer service really speaks for itself. So if you ever find yourself with a device that isn't performing as it should, give Eyedrop a call at 865-888-9740 or check them out on Facebook at Eyedrop of Knoxville. If man made it, they can fix it. We're here with Dr. Michael Carlson of Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine to discuss stem cell treatment and PRP. If you have orthopedic injuries such as shoulder pain, knee pain, Achilles tendonitis, or tennis elbow, you should give them a call.
That's right, Jason. We specialize in regenerative non-surgical orthopedics. So we treat damaged tendons, ligaments, and joints by using ultrasound-guided injections with stem cells or PRP. And this form of treatment actually stimulates the body's own reparative process and allows for healing of the damaged tissue.
So, Doc, what makes your training different than others?
Well, Jason, I've been practicing in Knoxville for 26 years, and I'm certified in interventional regenerative orthopedic medicine through the American Academy of Orthopedic Medicine. So unlike the big seminars that will advertise stem cells, fly someone in for a couple hours to talk about supposed stem cells that you order off of a shelf, then they'll depart, leaving the patient wondering who will be the person injecting me and what their level of training is. At Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, I'm the one doing the procedure, and we're using your own bone marrow stem cells or PRP. So in other words, it comes from you and it goes back to you. So you know exactly what you're getting and know exactly the level of training involved.
Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, trsportsmedicine.com. East Tennessee's leader in PRP and stem cell therapy.
Deep down the middle's got his man, and he's gone. Jason Swain, touchdown.
It's time for the Swain Event with your host for the Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
Give me to his house and a Ric Flair.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America, 5 minutes past the top of the hour. The 28th of June. July's right around the corner. We got SEC Media Days, but we are in the thick of college football recruiting. Also, players deciding to move after the spring. Guys are deciding to hit the transfer portal and test out a new new scenery. Tennessee had a couple players hit the transfer portal in the last couple days. We'll get to that. But just a big recruiting weekend for Tennessee, the biggest yet for Josh Heupel and company. Ben McKee, Jason Swain, live here from the Low T Center studio. Ben, good morning, sir.
Good morning. I hope you are as well as I am. I had an absolute blessed weekend. That is the best way to describe my weekend. Got to celebrate my guy Kari Blasingame and his beautiful bride Maya. Found out why Kari wears number 41 for the Titans. It seemed like nobody at the wedding knew why he wore number 41 for the Titans. He played at Vandy, obviously, and wore 23. His wife played basketball at Vandy and wore 41. So that is why he.
Gotcha.
I was unaware. A lot of people seem to be unaware when his dad told that story about how they found out about his wife. So got to celebrate Kari, and then got to celebrate my grandma. Turned 75 yesterday, and we had a big family shebang on Saturday night in Huntsville. Really nice to break bread with my family. And then today is mine and my wife's anniversary. So happy 2 years to my wife and I. Thank you for putting up with me the past 2 years. And I look to the many, many more years to come. She is dead asleep right now, and zero chance that she hears what I'm saying right now. But I'm putting it in the atmosphere. I'm putting the good juju out there.
That's right, man. You had you was hitting every area code like ludicrous, man.
Man, the past week, I mean, even going back to when I left for Omaha, I mean, I went Knoxville to Nashville to Dallas to Omaha for a week, 5-6 days, and then Omaha to Chicago to Nashville to Knoxville to Atlanta to Huntsville and back to Knoxville. And I'm not leaving for a while.
Area code in Omaha is 402. I know Chicago has several. 773 is one of them. Atlanta, 404. And you back in the 865. You went down to Dallas. Let me try to think. I think Dallas's area code, they got a couple too. But the 469 and the 214. I do remember 214.
It says 972 as well.
Yeah, the 214. The 214 looks familiar. I got some friends hit me up from that area. The 214 area code. So, yeah, man, you was hitting different area codes like ludicrous for real.
I know. I am not. The next time I'm going out of town is for SEC Media Days. That Tuesday, Josh Heupel speaks in Hoover. I'll be there for that, and then the day afterwards, I go to the beach. And I will be there for the remainder of the week. That is the next time I'm leaving town. I'm not going anywhere for a couple weeks.
Well, we got a potential starter that is going somewhere. I mean, it was alluded to last week that Tennessee would lose, defensive lineman to the transfer portal, and that player is Greg Emerson. Tennessee had a big recruiting weekend, so. A lot of positive with the recruiting weekend. Obviously, the perception for the fans is oh my gosh, Greg Emerson starter potentially leaving. Oh my God, Salter, dismissed for just some weed, just legalize it so it wouldn't happen, even though that's not the truth. Oh my gosh, in-state player. Commits to Ole Miss. Oh, my God, the sky's falling. And it's not. The sky's not falling. You're going to lose some players. You're going to lose some recruits that you may or may not want. The public thinks you want them because he's an in-state player. And listen, Tennessee may want them either, but you're going to lose some. The position that Tennessee is in right now, it's not an attractive place. It's no secret. For those recruits, but this staff is actually doing more than I thought they would do.
Yes.
I mean, brought in 11 official visitors. I mean, you have 5-star players that are number one in their position, number one in the state, or top 5 in their position, but they come into Tennessee, and that speaks to
relationships being built. Something is pulling those guys in Knoxville. Because if I was in that position, I'm just talking about me personally in that position, I wouldn't waste my time. Because I didn't waste my time going on an official visit to Alabama. I didn't go on an official visit to Auburn. I didn't waste my time. I didn't want to waste their time. I dang sure didn't want to waste my time. So I didn't even go on an official visit to those schools. I had been there so much. There was nothing else they were going to tell me. I didn't want to play around with them. I didn't want to waste their time. I have respect for their time. The fact that Heupel and company are getting guys to Knoxville, something is pulling them to Knoxville. And all that matters at the end of the day is whether they come here or not. I get that. But if you're doing it the right way, and it's consistent, Josh Heupel's going to recruit well. Every coach that's been here at Tennessee has recruited pretty well. I mean, it is what it is. But, Ben, I know you were blazing the phones over the weekend, whether you're talking to your VolQuest team or talking to recruits, but a ton of stuff up on the recruiting sites, definitely at VolQuest. We got some nuggets that we'll share today. Not everything, but some very good players from the state, outside of the state, in Tennessee's most fertile recruiting area of Atlanta. Guys have come up from there. So so many guys, so many players to keep up with. So, we'll do our best. But just actually a surprising recruiting effort lately for Tennessee.
And it's surprising because of where Tennessee is
Mm-hmm.
and the situation that Josh Heupel and his coaching staff has inherited. He and his staff have surprised me with the level of player, the amount of level of players that they have been in with. I thought they'd be able to cherry pick one or two elite prospects, but they're in contention for several. And they're still not going to finish with a top 5, top 10 class given the circumstances. But speaking to these circumstances, they are exceeding my expectations, just having to recruit against the NCAA issues and having to recruit against the stigma of Tennessee football. And what do I mean when I say that? Well, I talked to a kid last week who was here last week on an official visit, and I asked him about his expectations going into the visit, maybe what he was wanting to see, and I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember the direct quote off the top of my head, but the young man essentially said, well, when you think of Tennessee football, you don't expect much. That's what he said. When you think of Tennessee football, you don't expect much.
Ouch.
Yes. I had my orange-colored glasses off, and that still hurt me. And I got to thinking, I'm like, well, this kid is probably 17 years old. So which, if it's 2021, what, he born in 2004-ish?
Yeah.
3? Something like that.
Yeah.
Point being, like, and you all had success at Tennessee. Not trying to diminish what you all accomplished, but that was like the last like true bit of success that Tennessee had outside of a little 9-win season, back-to-back years with Butch. There has been nothing to.
He wouldn't know nothing. You know that anyways. If he was born in 04.
Exactly.
Probably would have watched football until Dooley.
Yes, he knows Dooley, and everything after Dooley. So.
Or Lane, he's 5.
Yes, at best.
Yeah,
and he flat out said it that like when you think of Tennessee football, you don't expect a lot. So he was wanting to get to campus and check it out in person to really see what Tennessee was about, and that obviously did not throw that quote into a story because the young man meant it harmlessly. He wasn't trying to throw shade at Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously didn't want to throw that into. I know the moment I throw that type of comment into a story, it's going to take off everybody's going to run with it and would not be good for Tennessee. But that's the type of situation that Josh Heupel and his staff are facing. And Josh Heupel does need to prove that he can recruit in the SEC, and so do many of his assistant coaches. But given what they have inherited, I mean, Tennessee's in a really good spot for some really, really talented kids. I know there was a young receiver that committed to Ole Miss yesterday, and a lot of folks were kind of jumping on Tennessee. Why an in-state receiver is committing to Ole Miss when we need receivers? That's fair, but Taylor Groves, the young man that committed to Ole Miss, whether they were right or wrong, Tennessee wasn't really pursuing. I don't know whether that's a good decision by Tennessee. I don't know whether that's a bad decision by Tennessee, but Tennessee was not pursuing him heavily, and everybody wanted to jump on Tennessee and say, well, if he's good enough for Michigan, good enough for Ole Miss, then why aren't we recruiting him? And then there may be some validity to that. But there's also receivers that Tennessee is after in-state, Cam Miller, Isaiah Horton, that they've positioned themselves really well for.
Better than Ole Miss.
Yes, better. They're competing with schools that are better than Ole Miss. I mean, Isaiah Horton is on the brink of a legitimate offer from Alabama. He has, the typical offer that everybody gets, but he is supposed to go down to Alabama sometime soon and camp with Alabama in person and try to earn a committable offer. So he's as close to a committable offer as you can get with Alabama, but he's also considering Florida, Cam Miller, considering the same schools along the same lines as Horton. They're very two talented players, and Tennessee has positioned themselves extremely well for both of them. So there are a ton of names on campus this weekend that I'm surprised Tennessee, and not even just this weekend, over the last month, that Tennessee has positioned themselves pretty well with given the circumstances, has surprised me.
There's one player that hurt me a little bit. That's Kayron Prunty, who decided to go to South Carolina over Tennessee. But I understand that Tennessee and South Carolina kind of in the same spot as far as roster. I think Tennessee's roster is better than South Carolina's, but you got new coaching staff, and you have a roster that's not where it needs to be. Both teams can say that, even though I think Tennessee's is a little bit better. What is South Carolina selling? What is Tennessee selling? Who has the clearest path to the starting cornerback job? That is something that I'm pretty sure Kayron had to weigh, but at the end he picked South Carolina over Tennessee, and that one kind of stung a little bit. But Tennessee will be able to rebound quicker and easier than South Carolina. Simple as that. I know they're really building their culture. I know several coaches on that staff, including the head coach who was a GA here at Tennessee. So I know what they're building their culture on. They're building their culture on the same thing that Tennessee's building their culture on, relationships. And that's why a guy like Montario Hardaway is on that staff. So you got to do it the right way. It's one thing. I think the transfer rule, NIL, is really exposing that coaches for a very, very long time got rich off the back of these athletes and didn't have to care about them. Didn't have to care about them as a person. Didn't have to care. Because once you sign, they can lie to you, they can trap you. But you can't do that anymore. You have to be genuine now. You have to be more genuine now than ever before. And the coaches who are not, they're getting exposed. Look it up. Look what's happening. What happened at Iowa. Look what happened at Wichita State in basketball. That's the one silver lining I can see with the changes happening in college athletics. Man, you got to be pure. You got to be pure. These families, these coaches who are right on the side of these recruits, they can see through the BS. So you got to be pure. And from things that I've read from recruits, this staff seems to be the closest thing to that. They're doing a really good job of that. Your best recruiters are not your coaches. They're not buildings. It's not the fans. As crazy as that might sound for some folks to understand. But it's the current players. Those are your best recruiting tools. Your best recruiting tools are your current players. And just watching Branson Robertson's, interview, he kind of spoke to that. The relationship that he kind of built with some of the players on the team and what they talked to him about, the culture versus the culture previously, the staff now versus the staff before. That's going to be your biggest selling point, is your current players. And so right now, everything looks to be on the up and up. And you got to take it with a grain of salt. With 0-0, not a lot of adversity. But right now, Tennessee is further along than I expected them to be honest. Further along. Does it mean Tennessee's going to smash it on the recruiting trail or go win a bunch of games this year? I don't know. I don't know what the outcome is. I just know, looking at the foundation, they're in a better spot than what I thought they would be, considering what happened a couple months ago. 865-255-03, Iris Networks hotline. High quality, reliable, great customer service, fiber internet and voice for you business owners out there. A Tennessee business, connecting Tennessee businesses. That is irisnetworksusa.com. Be right back.
If you want to get in on the conversation, call the Iris Networks hotline at 865-200-5503. Grow your business with Iris Networks high-speed fiber internet. irisnetworksusa.com.
JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799.
Good morning, Swain Event crew. As the weather heats up, so does our market, and from Johnson City to Knoxville, eager buyers are grabbing up many available properties. The chili is hot in East Tennessee, so if you are ready to buy or sell or want to talk more about our local real estate market, I'm just a phone call away. Or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com. And go Vols!
When I made the move to my own studio, I was worried about this. I was worried about that. I was worried about, hey, did I get this piece of equipment? Did I get that piece of equipment? Does that sound good? Does that not sound good? One thing I didn't have to worry about, that was office furniture, because Office Furniture Outfitters met my furniture needs. With a 50,000 square foot facility, they have East Tennessee's largest selection and are the best value for new and used office furniture. Located in Knoxville, it's easy to find everything you need for your new space, including desks, file cabinets, chairs, conference tables, and more. Office Furniture Outfitters is turnkey. They came to my place, we mapped everything out that was needed, they delivered, and get this, set everything up. To learn more about what Office Furniture Outfitters can do for you, log on to ofonox.com. That's ofonox.com. Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help. If you're coming to Knoxville and need a place to stay, do yourself a favor and book a room at Hampton Inn Paper Mill, also known as the Hampton on the Hill. This award-winning property is literally in the top 5% of all Hampton Inn properties. The GM, Stephen Lawrence, is a good old local boy who grew up in the business around Knoxville. He and his staff are always available, always willing to help, and will go above and beyond for their guests. The newest Hampton Inn in Knoxville has clean, affordable rooms, flat screens, fridges, and microwaves in every room. Plus, breakfast is included in every rate. Not to mention, there's also a pool and fitness center on site. If it wasn't so close to amazing restaurants, bars, and shopping, you would never want to leave. At only 6 miles from campus, you're still right in where the big orange action is. Go to HamptonInn.com, search Knoxville, and book your room at the Hampton Inn Paper Mill or call 865-693-5400.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
For a replay of each day's Swain Event TV, like us on Facebook.
Monday. Man, they said people didn't like Monday, man. Mondays are great, especially when you have so much stuff to cover at the end of June, like we do here at Tennessee. Most of it's good, not all of it's good, but most of it is. Tennessee baseball looking to lock down their general for the next couple of years. Tony Vitello, Tennessee, still working on that contract extension, so I'm looking forward to seeing that any minute, any day.
I would expect today or tomorrow.
Yep,
is what I've continued to hear.
Yep. So we're close, man. We're close to sealing that deal. Not worrying and waiting. And now that LSU picked their guy, the concern level is way down. But let's go ahead and knock this thing out. Let's start knocking some ground. Let's start, breaking some ground on some new projects there on Lindsey Nelson Stadium. Let's get this thing going. Man, got some track stuff going on, man. Got some athletes from Tennessee representing. We got some changes with the baseball program as we replace Ross Kivett. We supposed to get up, man.
He can still get up.
He in Houston. He going to Houston. Well, I mean, unless he's still around. But man, my first cousin's coming up to his camp. Was coming up to his camp. Now it's not his camp, but he's still coming in August. So I thought I'd be able to wait and meet Ross Kivett at his camp when my first cousin comes up to Tennessee baseball camp. But nah, man, what's crazy is Ross Kivett is going to my first cousin. My first cousin lives right outside of Houston, so he's going to Houston. But I was looking forward to meeting Ross, man, after he showed out there in Omaha. I guess that's the way to say it.
He definitely
showed
out in Omaha. I was surprised that he was going to Houston. I was not surprised that he was leaving because he was
I get paid, man.
Far better than a volunteer assistant.
Yeah,
Tennessee was lucky to have him as a volunteer assistant for as long as they did. But I was surprised because he was headed to Memphis at one point, and then it gets reported that he's headed to Houston. So I would rather go to Houston. Houston, a better baseball job than Memphis.
Houston's more serious about their athletics than Memphis too.
Yes, and Tennessee was lucky to have him. Like I said, he should not have been a volunteer assistant. Shame on the NCAA for not having a third paid assistant that would allow for him to stay at Tennessee, because I do think he would stay at Tennessee if the NCAA did allow a third paid assistant. This was just an unfortunate situation of where Ross Kivett deserved to be paid, needed to be paid, and found himself a really great job. But Tennessee owes him a ton because they absolutely got the most out of him during his time as a volunteer assistant, and he is a hot, young, up-and-coming name, and he's going to do great things wherever he is.
Maybe he returns. Maybe he returns one day, as a paid assistant. I remember us talking about how COVID, really affected him because he made his money off those prospect camps, and because COVID shut everything down. It's one thing for Tony Vitello to take a little pay cut. It's one thing for a coach on staff to take a pay cut. It's another thing when you don't get paid at all and you rely on these camps, but then the camps are gone. So that's something I thought about when I saw the news that he was going to be on field, or a paid assistant, was that how COVID really affected him. All right, Greg Emerson and Salter in the transfer portal.
And Malachi Wyman, everybody. Transfer portal party.
Man, if their statements is their play while here at Tennessee was as good as their statements, whew, man.
You know what I realized the other day after Caden Salter announced his decision to enter the transfer portal? Or not necessarily that, but when he was kicked off the team. And I'm stating the obvious, but he literally never threw a pass at Tennessee. And I'm not even talking about just the game. He never threw a pass on the practice field because he was suspended for all of spring practice. I mean, that's just quite the roller coaster for a freshman quarterback going to enroll early. Tennessee has a terrible quarterback situation. Maybe you can earn the starting job as a freshman, and then you get yourself into trouble where you can't even throw a pass. I mean, he literally did not throw a single pass on the practice field over the course of spring, and then left after spring. Literally never threw a pass while at Tennessee on the practice field or in a game. Only Tennessee.
He was the most. He was the dude I was looking forward to the most in that whole entire class, man.
Yep.
Watching him play, man, I was so pumped about him because it was a guy that Jim Chaney had hand selected. It was the first guy that Jim Chaney had hand selected as a coordinator at Tennessee. Just so fired up, and then when he stuck after Pruitt was gone, man, I was really pumped for him. But man, I started hearing whispers of questioning his dedication, questioning his sense of urgency. I think he just made up in his mind that he was going to redshirt, and he was just going to kick it, and kicked it a little too hard. But he did have a statement, and I mean when I say if these guys played as well as they put out statements, they wouldn't be in the transfer portal.
Nope,
they'll be starters. Because a lot of thought went into these statements. Very thorough, sounded really great. But there's a reason why guys transfer. Even when Tennessee's going out and getting guys to bring into the program, there's always a reason. And you must explore and find out what that reason is quick, fast, in a hurry. But, Salter is young. He made a mistake. He needs to understand, even though one mistake shouldn't judge you for the rest of your life, but one mistake can affect you. It certainly can affect you. One decision can affect you. One decision can alter the trajectory of your life. One decision. And I hope that he has a sense of urgency and understand that, man, 5 years go by really, really quick. And before you know it, you'll be either playing at the next level or figuring out what you're going to do after football. It comes quick, so you better have a sense of urgency. Greg Emerson, This one stings more because of you have a player that actually played. Whether or not he played at a high level or not is besides the point, but he played, and he battled some injuries coming in to Tennessee. You thought with the combination of Rodney Garner that his game was going to go to the next level. What we did not consider is that when you bring in a guy like Rodney Garner, who has a high standard that is proven, you either will see guys meet that bar and take their game to the next level, or fail to do that because Rodney Garner sees that this guy is not at the level he needs to be at for my group to be as good as they could be. And I think that's what happened, Ben.
Yes.
I think Rodney Garner came in and saw that the group, and it's an immature group. It might be old, but it's an immature group.
Do not let the classification of what year they are in school fool you.
It's an immature group. And what's sad is you got kind of the blind leading the blind in that group. And you hope that the transfer, the new guy, comes in and provides some sight for some of the young guys, provide some leadership for some of those young guys. Man, I'm so used to seeing the torch being passed from a guy like Paris Harrison over to a Turk McBride over to a Dan Williams, and so forth and so on. That's what I'm used to seeing. The torch being passed. And somewhere along the line, the defensive lineman, I don't know what happened. The torch has been dropped, and, man, there's a fire somewhere. I don't know, but.
Which is sad because you had a guy like Derek Barnett in this football program 4 years ago.
Not long ago. Well, 16.
16 was his last year. 5 years ago, Derek Barnett was on this football team, and guys like Greg Emerson were the next wave of defensive linemen.
He had Dale Taylor that earned respect by how he played and how he carried himself too. So
and Emerson played with Darrell Taylor.
Yeah. I don't know if Derek was the vocal leader or if Darrell Taylor was the vocal leader, but you had examples by just watching them of how to take care of your business.
Corey Vereen, another name.
Yeah.
Kurt Maggitt, kind of. We're getting a little bit away from Kurt Maggitt. We're stretching, but Kurt has had an impact, and even after his playing days, has still been around the program here or there because he's still been in Knoxville trying to obtain he did obtain his master's, his MBA. So even Kurt, after being done playing, was still around the program to a certain extent. You've had plenty of examples, and it is the golf cart has found a way to get off path, like I did a couple months ago when I slid off the path and had to have some old geezers help me push it out of the mud because I got stuck because I was impatient and tried to go around them. But
what a day!
Greg Emerson is kind of the center of this conversation, but it's just not Greg Emerson. We're singling out Greg Emerson because he entered the transfer portal, but there are some other veterans along that defensive line, and it's pretty obvious which ones that also need to kick it into gear, or else the same thing is going to be happening to them that is happening to Greg Emerson, and that is a mutual parting of ways, and gonna have to find somewhere else to live, play football.
Yeah, this staff, man, they cannot waver on what's going to be accepted and how we're doing things moving forward. I mean, change is not easy. You would think going 3-7, losing the way that some of these players had the last three years, that when you have someone that comes in and they have a more proven track record, they've played at a high level, that everybody will be receptive to change. No, not necessarily. If you had it made before, you wasn't being held accountable, you get to do what you want to do. No one pushed you the way you need to be pushed. and then a new staff, a new coach comes in and does that, not everyone is built for that. Some guys run away. I've been watching the NBA playoffs, and I'll say it right now. I want the Phoenix Suns to go win the whole deal. I want to see Chris Paul. I want to see Chris Paul win it. But one thing that stood out was DeAndre Ayton was talking about Chris Paul. He was like, "Man, no one is. I haven't had a teammate push me like him. He makes me better. It's like a big bro, little bro type of relationship. Like no one has made me better like this in my career. We're talking about the first overall pick a few years ago. In the same, top 10 breath as Trae Young and Luka. DeAndre Ayton was the number 1 overall pick, but Chris Paul was the reason why DeAndre Ayton's game has went to the next level. You gotta have teammates that push you.
And if Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan would have bought in like Ayton has, then the Clippers would have won at least a championship.
They would have gotten to the Western Conference Final. They didn't even do that.
Correct.
This is the first time they played in the Western Conference Final.
Couldn't even get past the Grizzlies.
No, they couldn't even do that.
Blake Griffin's fake tough. You know what?
Yeah.
Sit down somewhere, Blake. You bum.
But you gotta have guys that push you, man.
Yes. And Rodney Garner is that guy that will push you. And if you're not willing to, take it up a notch, turn it up a notch, and meet his standard, you're going to be the fat that is trimmed off of this football team.
Yep, I think and I say this not because I'm, bitter anytime a player leaves, because I understand. There was times that I wanted to leave. I get it. But I do think this on the outside looks like you're losing. But I think you are gaining by losing here, addition by subtraction here, because you got to have guys that you can build a foundation with. These gentlemen, they don't get talked about as much. But I remember 2013, you had guys like Corey Miller, you had Marlon Walls. They were seniors when Butch Jones came in town. They were seniors. And we know how every coach comes in. They want their guys. They inherited some players. I'm pretty sure Lane was pretty happy about inheriting Eric Berry and, inherited Monterey Hardaway. But even a second-round running back selection in Monterey Hardaway, the new staff was trying to push him out with Bryce Brown. So everybody has their guys that they want to bring in once they become coach. They want to bring in their guys. They want their recruits to be playing. Well, the foundation was set for Butch with those seniors. And those seniors weren't going to benefit in 2015 and 2016 when Tennessee had some they experienced some nice highs. But that 13 senior class is what laid the foundation because they bought in. They helped recruit. Byron Moore was helping recruit as a senior. I can tell you right now, I wasn't helping Tennessee recruit as a senior. As an underclassman, as a junior I was, but not as a senior. But Byron Moore was helping Tennessee, helping construct the 2014 class as a senior.
Him and Corey Miller.
They were. But that went unnoticed for a lot of people. I bring that up to say these older players, it's very important for them. You want them to be able to say, hey, man, I know I'm not going to be here next year, but we're in good hands. I'm buying in because I have to show the younger guys what it's going to take, and then I'm going to pass the torch on. That's what Corey Miller did. It won't be in the record books. It won't be on some plaque somewhere, but that's what he did. It allowed for Butch Jones the next 2 seasons to have the growth and have the success that he had. But it was that senior class from 13. And this group, these older guys, you better figure it out.
I think there's a couple that have figured it out. Matthew Butler, Jaquan Blakely. I think those are two guys that have been pretty evidently helping this defense throughout the spring. And you go out there for camps in the month of June, and Jaquan Blakely and Matthew Butler, they're all over the place leading the way. And, Jaquan Blakely isn't somebody that you necessarily think at the forefront of most talented guys on the defense, but still, he's like a glue guy. And he has made a play or two during the course of his Tennessee career. He was on that goal line stop at Kentucky that helped Tennessee win that football game. So he's a guy that's taking advantage of the free year of eligibility. So he's been in college for quite some time. And Matthew Butler is a father, if I remember correctly. So, his priorities are going to be in order. And his priorities have always been in order. So there are a couple of guys, in my opinion, especially within that defensive line group, where there needs to be the biggest maturation process. I think there's a couple of guys that are really going to help. Matthew Butler, Jaquan Blakely. I think Byron Young, the JUCO signee that had a big spring, he's already there. So you're trimming some of the fat, and you're really getting down to the nitty gritty, where there are some guys that can lead, in my opinion.
Swain Event, hour number 1 is brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Ben McKee, Jason Swain. Be right back.
At work, can't call in? Don't feel bad. You can talk to the guys on the text box. It's part of the free Swain Event app.
More and more Tennessee businesses are switching to Iris Networks for reliable, local, high-quality, high-speed business fiber internet. Iris provides direct internet access from 10 megs to 10 gigs with no payments for 90 days. Iris also offers next-generation business phones with work-from-anywhere capability from the mobile or laptop app. With local sales, support, and service, Iris is a partner in the community. Learn more at irisnetworkusa.com or call 865-448-IRIS. Iris Networks, a Tennessee business connecting Tennessee businesses.
Guys, your health right now is more important than ever. I recommend Low T Center. That's where I get my levels checked. It all starts with the annual wellness exam, where they do a comprehensive health assessment exclusively for men, making it quick and easy to take care of your health. And now they offer monitored self-inject at-home testosterone treatment. Most insurance is accepted. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment and make your health a priority. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
It's a new season, which means it's time to rep your team in new ways with gear from Game Time Sidekicks. Rep the Vols with every sip with a new tie-dye tumbler or bottle. They also have a new NFL Players Association product line, so you can support your favorite VFL on Sundays. Want to put your own flair on a tumbler? Game Time Sidekicks has you covered with options to add your own text or even a monogram on the back of your favorite team tumbler. To check out everything that Game Time Sidekicks has to offer, go to GameTimeSidekicks.com. Carry your team with Game Time Sidekicks.
Good morning, Swain Event crew. As the weather heats up, so does our market, and from Johnson City to Knoxville, eager buyers are grabbing up many available properties. The chili is hot in East Tennessee, so if you are ready to buy or sell or want to talk more about our local real estate market, I'm just a phone call away. Or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com. And go Vols!
I just wanted to come by and congratulate you on the great work you've been doing.
I like your style. You remind me of a young me.
Failure is not an option.
That boy is good.
Always remind yourself, nobody built like you. You design yourself.
Attaboy. Attaboy is brought to you by Made in Tennessee Business Fiber Internet from Iris Networks. Find business solutions for you at irisnetworksusa.com.
Time for Attaboy. Attaboy is brought to you by Iris Networks, business, internet, and voice, your headquarters for reliable, high-quality fiber internet. IrisNetworksUSA.com is their website. 90 days, no payment for business internet. And I'm staying right here in Knoxville, Tennessee, at the University of Tennessee for my Attaboy today. Tennessee graduate student Daryl Sullivan will represent Team USA at the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games this summer after qualifying in the men's high jump. at the U.S. Olympic team trials on Sunday at Hayward Field. Four-time All-American from Illinois equaled his lifetime best with a clearance of 2.33 meters to place second at the trials and secure a spot on his first Olympic team. So, attaboy to Daryl Sullivan. He is going to wear the stars and stripes for the United States and representing the country at the Olympics. So, really cool moment there. I've spoken to like a few folks that have competed and won at the Olympics. Older folks that competed in the 1984 Olympics, and former Vol track stars, and they just couldn't explain it. They just couldn't explain what it was like, representing their country, competing, and winning a medal, winning a gold medal. So hopefully Mr. Sullivan can do the same thing. All right, Ben, what you got?
A couple of Tennessee-themed attaboys and attagirls to go along with yours. First, I do want to highlight once again, and I say once again because it was brought up several months ago when the class was announced, but over the weekend, the 2021 class of Tennessee Hall of Famers were inducted into the Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame. They had their weekend of celebration, and that was Mike Keith, former Vol Network alum, who is now the voice of the Tennessee Titans. Reggie Johnson, who played basketball at Tennessee. Bill Bates played football at Tennessee. And then Todd Elton, who played baseball at Tennessee. So it was announced that they would be part of the 2021 class a couple months back, and they had their weekend to shine this weekend as they were inducted into the Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame over the weekend. And obviously some big names in that group right there. But I also want to give an attagirl to Kelly Harper. She didn't pick up a commitment. She didn't win a basketball game. She didn't do this. She didn't do that. But what she did do, Swain, is something that I appreciate so much. Several years ago, you and I started having a conversation about how both of us disliked the fact that recruits can wear jerseys when they go on campus. We understand why the schools do it, but our point of view is that it's an honor to wear a jersey at a particular school. Now, at a place like Vanderbilt, wearing that football jersey, not that big of an honor. At a place like Missouri, not that big of an honor. But at a place like Tennessee, at a place like Notre Dame, at a place like USC, at a place like Penn State, at Michigan, Ohio State, schools like that, it is an honor to wear those schools' jerseys. Because when you think of the school, you think of Notre Dame's jerseys. You think of the Michigan Wolverine helmet. You think of the little weed plants on Ohio State's helmets that they rock. You think of USC's boring uniform combination. You think of the Power T. You think of the Tennessee-specific orange that is so unique, and it stands out, and it has been such an honor to see guys like Al Wilson rock the Power T. Guys like Joey Kent, Peyton Manning, Peerless Price. The list goes on and on, obviously. Eric Berry, my favorite Vol ever. You and I both did not like that wearing a jersey has become this must on a recruiting visit.
It's not even the jersey, because I think like when I was on my visit, they have your jersey laid out in the locker, and I'm pretty sure guys put it on. I didn't put mine on, but like I'm pretty sure guys put their jerseys on then. It's the putting the whole uniform on that I'm not gonna like. I don't care if this is what's going on right now. I'll be the boomer. I don't like it.
I'll take it a step further and be a bigger boomer. I don't like wearing the jersey at all. Yeah. I feel where you're coming from. Like at Tennessee, like a recruit should not be able to rock the Power T helmet or rock the Tennessee jersey until they become a football player. That is my opinion. I get why the schools do it. You don't want to be the football school in this landscape of recruiting that doesn't allow it, because as silly as it is, these kids truly look forward to putting on these jerseys, getting their photos taken and posting them to Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah.
They adore doing that. So why does Kelly Harper get an atta girl? Because there was a tweet from or a comment from Ruby Whitehorn. Well, I'm trying to find who made the comment. I don't know. The Vol Fan Inn, that's their Twitter name, For the Dream, is who sent out this tweet. But seeing a lot of 2022, 2023 recruits going on unofficials lately. When they visit Lady Vol Hoops, I am reminded every day of Kelly Harper's strict, quote, recruits are not allowed to wear jerseys until they commit rule. I don't think any other program has this rule, and this Twitter account that follows Lady Vol basketball posted a couple of photos of recruits on visits to Tennessee, and none of them are wearing a Lady Vol jersey. And I love this so much because, like I just got done saying, a recruit should not be able to put on a historic jersey until they are signed on the dotted line. It should be a privilege and an honor to wear particular jerseys, and the last couple of years of recruiting have taken that away. So shout out to Kelly Harper. I love so much that she is doing that.
Yeah, I love it. I don't expect that to carry over in football. No. I think there's maybe 1, 2, maybe 3 programs that can get away with that. I don't want to mention them, but there's a few programs that could get away with saying, nah, man, you can't put the uniform on until you commit or you sign. They can get away with that because they've won a lot, had a lot of success. Tennessee's not one of those programs.
Did you notice how I didn't mention some particular schools earlier?
Oh, I did notice that. I appreciate that. But Kelly Harper can get away with that because we're talking about the Lady Vol brand.
Yes.
I mean, nothing comes close to the Lady Vol brand. The closest thing right now would be, wearing the UConn Huskies uniform. But, they can get away with that. Football, can't do it. So,
and you also have to deal with less recruits in basketball. I feel like that may help as well.
It's less messy.
Yes.
So Kelly can do this. Maybe Don Staley can do this. Gino could do this. But I don't think there's a football coach that can get away with this unless they coach it, one of 3 or 4 different schools. So don't expect it in football, but I sure love it and appreciate it from Kelly Harper. I love it. And I think it's going to actually pay off, to be honest.
I hope so.
Yeah, I think it's going to pay off. Remember how coaches come in and you don't have a number on your jersey. You have to earn your number. You have coaches come in who Butch had a black stripe. You had to earn your stripe. Lane Kiffin took Brandon Warren out of the jersey number 1 because he had to earn the right to be number 1. So we've seen this before where you have to earn the right. I mean, we had it too. They put a lock on the Gatorade cooler one time because we wasn't handling our business. So coaches have done this for eons, taking things away, making the players earn the right to put on the uniform or have the luxuries that come with being a student athlete. So I love this from Kelly Harper. I think it's going to pay off, though. And I think it's a sign towards her current players, even more so than the recruits.
Ray Burrell.
Because it is a privilege. It is a privilege. And Ray understands that.
Yes.
Because Ray's perfect in every way.
I'm going to keep it moving real quick before we hit the top of the hour.
According to C-Mac.
According to C-Mac and Chip Payne and
Keon.
Hump Day.
Big Orange Mac.
My mind went blank, obviously.
Yeah. Ray is perfect in every way, man. She's a baller. Man, no drama from her. She's a pretty. We got pretty girls on our team. She's pretty. Man, she's perfect in every way. She's perfect. And she's Tennessee's. Hour 2 coming up here on the Swain Event. We got touchdown turnover. We got around the SEC. And, boy, do we got some stuff for around the SEC to discuss. We do it coming up after this.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
When you see the happy face on our truck, you'll be smiling because you'll know that you're in love.
At Hiller, we care about your family's comfort all year long. If you get caught without air conditioning this summer, we're offering a free service call with any repair. That's a free service call when we do the work on your HVAC system. Visit happyhiller.com to schedule your appointment today.
Call the happy face truck today.
Hey there, Swain Event listeners. I'm excited to share my new Keller Williams Realty app so you can tour homes without leaving yours. Not only can you search for homes in specific areas and neighborhoods, you can also have access to real-time market snapshots on stats like average home price and days on market, plus commute times from your office, school zones, and much more. Download my app today and get the most accurate information on buying, selling, and investing in real estate in your area. Just search for the Keller Williams Realty app and click on More in the lower right-hand corner. Type in Jennifer Morris in the Your Agent search bar, then save and you're set. And as always, feel free to reach out at 865-257-7897 or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com.
Is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you.
What are you doing?
Calling around to get the best rate on a car loan.
Why? Everyone knows Alcoa 10 is the best choice to purchase a vehicle or refinance your current loan. And with low interest rates and 90 days to your first payment, it's a no-brainer. You can even apply online and sign all the documents from the convenience of your home.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Alcoa 10 Credit Union. It's so easy. Go to atfcu.com for details. Rates are dependent on credit score and equal housing lender.
Touchdown or turnover is backed by Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong.
Touchdown turnover back by Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union. Tennessee had a big recruiting weekend. 11 official visitors. The amount of unofficial visitors, I don't know, but there's a lot of them.
A lot.
Yeah, but I know it was 11 official visitors, the biggest recruiting weekend for Tennessee in the Josh Heupel era. A lot of positive momentum. And if you're Tennessee, you want to capitalize off that momentum. If you're really any school, you want to capitalize off the momentum created by a recruiting weekend where you generated some positive energy, and guys are feeling good. This is probably the highest they'll think of you is when they're on the official visit, because you're able to lay everything out and really roll out the orange carpet. So, will Tennessee be able to capitalize on the positivity and get a commitment before July the 1st? So touchdown turnover, Tennessee gets a commitment before the end of the month, and the end of the month is Wednesday. Thursday is the 1st. So 2 days. Does Tennessee pull in a commitment before the end of the month? Touchdown or turnover?
13 recruiting stories are up on VolQuest.com right now.
Whew.
From over the last 24 hours. So if you want to find out more about the recruiting weekend that Tennessee had that Jason Swain just referenced, you can find everything you need to know over at VolQuest.com. 13 different stories Mo Clipper was in town, an offensive lineman from Georgia that is at the top of the offensive line board for Tennessee. 3-star Georgia defensive tackle Quintel Jones. Have an update on him. He was blown away on his official visit. Talked about Branson Robinson last hour, 5-star running back from technically Mississippi, but he's just outside of Memphis. Cam Miller, an in-state receiver from Memphis. He's actually from Memphis. Tennessee's in a really good spot there. He had his official visit to Tennessee this weekend. I think he makes a decision sometime in the month of July. He was on campus this weekend. You had 2 commitments on campus this weekend. Vincent Sneed, the defensive lineman from Florida, and then Brody Foley, who has the best name of any recruit in the entire 2022 class, Brody Foley.
His nickname is Bro.
That's right. Tight end commit. He was on campus this weekend, and he had a quote that stood out saying that he thinks this next month will prove we've done a great job of recruiting. Caleb Perry, Kentucky linebacker, he was on campus over the weekend for an official visit. He earned a camp offer earlier this month, came back for an official visit, and Tennessee is in his top 3 along with Cincinnati and Purdue. Those were the official visitors. Caden Pope, in-state prospect, the cousin of Latrell Bumpus, he was on campus. Jordan Phillips, a defensive lineman, he was on campus. Antonio Kite from your neck of the woods in Anniston, Alabama. I believe he is a 4-star.
That's more south than I'm comfortable claiming is my neck of the woods.
I don't blame you. So those were the official visitors, and then we started working on the unofficial visitors last night. Had several young men on campus for the barbecue that Tennessee put on, a dinner-type cornhole situation, just to get a lot of unofficial visitors on campus. Isaiah Horton, a big-time in-state receiver, he was here, talked a little bit about him last hour. He is considering Florida, Alabama, Miami, and Tennessee as his Final Four, and he's looking at a decision in July, and he's a big-time receiver at 6'3", 190 pounds. Joshua Josephs, maybe Tennessee's top pass rusher on their board from Georgia. He talked about how he loved the trip to see Tennessee on Sunday because he loves everything about Tennessee. So a big recruiting weekend, and to your question, Swain,
you gotta be specific. That kid's from Atlanta. That's Vol territory.
Kennesaw, right?
It's Atlanta.
North Cobb High School.
Yeah, it's Atlanta. When you first hit
that's
Atlanta,
not a little too north for you to claim.
No.
I know what Kennesaw is.
When you drive to Atlanta, when you see Kennesaw, you're like, oh yeah, I'm here.
Yep.
Yeah, I hit Atlanta, man. That's when you know that you've made it, even though you're really not in Atlanta.
Right.
But you know, like you there.
It's like Farragut.
Yeah.
But to your question about whether Tennessee will have a commitment by the end of the month, so today, Tuesday, or Wednesday, I'll say turnover just because nobody is expected to announce. Tennessee could get a commitment, but it would be somebody that isn't necessarily expected to make a decision. A lot of Tennessee's targets right now are either planning to just hold off until during the season or make a decision in July, mid to late July, before football practice starts, before their senior season or whatever starts. So I say turnover. I think Tennessee is in a good spot for several players, for several recruits. It's at least not on my radar of anybody announcing over the next 3 days. So if somebody does commit, it'll kind of be out of left field.
Yeah, I'm gonna go turnover, man. I think it takes some time to get back home, discuss with your parents, maybe even go on another visit, compare that next visit with the visit you previously had, just to make sure that's where you want to be. I don't think time is on Tennessee's side to get a commitment before the end of the month, but I anticipate some next month. I do.
I think they'll have several.
Yeah. So I'm saying turnover simply because it's almost at the end of the month. 865-255-03. Let me get to the text box, and then we have around the SEC. Paul Birmingham says, "Man, Swain, you had to earn the right to hydrate. Coach Cut wasn't playing around." No, you can hydrate, but they had a cooler upstairs by the team room that had canned Gatorades. It was nothing but canned Gatorades, the lemon lime and the orange. And you ain't had a Gatorade until you had a canned Gatorade. It just hit different. It's just different. I don't know why. You can buy a sack load of Gatorade mix and mix it into a cooler and put it on your kitchen counter if you want to and have Gatorade for days. You can buy 20,000 packs of the bottled Gatorade. It does not equal one canned Gatorade. I don't know why. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if they put something different in it. I don't know. But it's something about them. And I remember one day we came upstairs for meetings, and there was a lock on it. Oh. So somebody must have did something, and they had to earn the right to get it back. So we got the other Gatorade, but we didn't get the canned Gatorade. It's just something different about that. Adam says, I used to live in Anderson as a kid, and I wouldn't claim it either. Yeah, I got some family down there, and last time I was down there, I was ready to get back home. I'm with you, Adam. Vaughn Abraham says, I was about to say, man, those canned Gatorades are the best. I don't even know if they sell them anymore. Have you seen them?
No, and I'm somebody who buys Gatorade kind of when I'm traveling and need something to drink in the car. I'll go in and buy a Gatorade, and I only see the current plastic bottles now. The canned Gatorades and the glass Gatorade bottles were the best Gatorade.
Maybe because they got to being in the can and being in the glass, it made it colder. I don't know, man. But you can buy some canned ones on Amazon.
You should order some.
Nah.
Why not?
Ain't
You
that-
know
ain't
the
that
best current Gatorade?
I don't.
It's the tall skinny bottle, and you have to screw the top off and pull back the little plastic thing that's on top of.
What flavor is it?
No, I'm
purple.
No, I'm
red,
not talking
blue.
about flavor. I'm not talking about flavor. I'm talking about I'm convinced that the tall skinny bottles that I'm referring, like the actual sport performance. That those taste better to me. You twist the top off, and you have to take the little I don't know what is that, like little plastic thing off, not even plastic, little paper thing. Those I'm convinced that the tall skinny ones are better than the normal Gatorade bottles. Currently,
it's funny that I when I'm categorizing the flavors of the Gatorade, I refer to them as the color.
Yep. Blue and red are my two Gatorade flavors. But now you have to be more specific with blue because they have like 3 different blues. There's the winter breeze and like the blue cherry and like
it's too much.
The traditional blue is my favorite one.
Yeah, it's too much.
Then I like the red. Is there a Gatorade flavor you don't like? I'll drink.
I don't really mess with the reds like that.
Really?
I think it's too sweet.
You know what's weird is like I can drink my Gatorades warm, but I can't drink the red one warm. The red one I only like if it's cold.
It's something about that red one. I don't know.
It's red. That's what's wrong with it. I did want to point out on the text box from the other McKee. We were talking about leadership along the defensive line, and at 7:45, the other McKee, because he is the GOAT, said, I don't know how good he is, but I really liked Latrell Bumphus's interview with Casey Funderburg. And Latrell Bumphus is somebody that I should have included last hour when we were talking about that there is somewhat of a nucleus of leadership there on the defensive line with Jaquan Blakely, Matthew Butler. I would put Latrell Bumphus in that conversation as well. He's a little on the quieter side, it seems, but he's a guy that does what he's supposed to and kind of leads by example, and I would throw him into that conversation with Blakely and Butler for sure.
423 Vol says, our house, we drink Powerade, Gatorade derived from the University of Florida. Yeah, I drink Powerade Florida week. I don't mess with Gatorade during Florida week.
We drink Powerade at my house because it's cheaper than Gatorade.
Yeah, pretty much.
The blue Powerade, the last year I've really started getting Powerade, and the Blue Powerade, I will go through like a pack of them in like 2 to 3 days. I love the Blue Powerade.
Honestly, I don't really care. They taste the same to me.
They taste different to me. I like Gatorade more, but it's more sugary. That's why.
Yeah. I forgot you do have a little sweet tooth.
Yep.
Let's see what's. Oh, Vol fan says, as Tennessee fans, can we all agree that we ain't cheering for Mississippi State to win tonight, but we are cheering 100% for Vandy to lose? Woo! Yeah, we got that coming up next. This College World Series. Worst possible scenario, Ben. We talked about it. Mississippi State, SEC team going up against Vanderbilt, an SEC team. Can't even howl anymore. Can't even do my Wolfpack howl anymore. Can't even do it, man.
Now we need some clanger bells in here.
No, we don't.
Oh, yes, we do.
No, we don't.
Blank Vanderbilt. I need some bells.
You
Clanger,
cowbell?
clanger. Mike Leach.
I'm sure Brad Matthews got some since he got a Mississippi State shirt.
Yes,
in
look,
the house.
I'm anti-SEC winning, but given the circumstances, one SEC team is going to win, and I sure as you know what don't want it to be Vanderbilt. So I will gladly root for Mississippi State. And here's the other thing: it's a little bit different than the Alabama-Georgia national championship game in football a couple of years ago, because Tennessee has beef with both Alabama and Georgia. Tennessee doesn't have beef with Mississippi State. Who cares if you root for them for 3 nights? This is one time I'm willing to put my SEC hate away because of the circumstances. Give me a cowbell, and I'll clang-a-lang-lang with the Bulldogs.
No hate yet. Tony Vitello ain't going anywhere. And soon everybody going to be hating Tennessee. But for now, I get what you're saying. I'm trying to come around, man. Listen, I feel you. I feel you 100%. I'm just
feels dirty doing it for sure.
Feels so dirty. Swain Event, be right back.
While the other guys are taking guesses, the Swain Event is taking you behind the scenes and in the huddle every morning from 7 till 10 right here.
More and more Tennessee businesses are switching to Iris Networks for reliable, local, high-quality, high-speed business fiber internet. Iris provides direct internet access from 10 megs to 10 gigs with no payments for 90 days. Iris also offers next-generation business phones with work-from-anywhere capability from the mobile or laptop app. With local sales, support, and service, Iris is a partner in the community. Learn more at irisnetworkusa.com or call 865-448-IRIS. Iris Networks, a Tennessee business connecting Tennessee businesses.
Guys, your health right now is more important than ever. I recommend Low T Center. That's where I get my levels checked. It all starts with the annual wellness exam, where they do a comprehensive health assessment exclusively for men, making it quick and easy to take care of your health. And now they offer monitored self-inject at-home testosterone treatment. Most insurance is accepted. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment and make your health a priority. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
It's a new season, which means it's time to rep your team in new ways with gear from Game Time Sidekicks. Rep the Vols with every sip with a new tie-dye tumbler or bottle. They also have a new NFL Players Association product line, so you can support your favorite VFL on Sundays. Want to put your own flair on a tumbler? Game Time Sidekicks has you covered with options to add your own text or even a monogram on the back of your favorite team tumbler. To check out everything that Game Time Sidekicks has to offer, go to GameTimeSidekicks.com. Carry your team with Game Time Sidekicks.
Good morning, Swain Event crew. As the weather heats up, so does our market, and from Johnson City to Knoxville, eager buyers are grabbing up many available properties. The chili is hot in East Tennessee, so if you are ready to buy or sell or want to talk more about our local real estate market, I'm just a phone call away. Or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com. And go Vols!
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at GarzaLaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
If you're coming to Knoxville and need a place to stay, do yourself a favor and book a room at Hampton Inn Paper Mill, also known as the Hampton on the Hill. This award-winning property is literally in the top 5% of all Hampton Inn properties. The GM, Stephen Lawrence, is a good old local boy who grew up in the business around Knoxville. He and his staff are always available, always willing to help, and will go above and beyond for their guests. The newest Hampton Inn in Knoxville has clean, affordable rooms, flat screens, fridges, and microwaves in every room. Plus, breakfast is included in every rate. Not to mention, there's also a pool and fitness center on site. If it wasn't so close to amazing restaurants, bars, and shopping, you would never want to leave. At only 6 miles from campus, you're still right in where the big orange action is. Go to HamptonInn.com, search Knoxville, and book your room at the Hampton Inn Paper Mill or call 865-693-5400.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
Around the SEC, oh my goodness, do we have some things to discuss for around the SEC today? Ben, do not let me hold you up. Get to it, my friend.
Whew. Boy, do we have something to talk about, as you just mentioned. I do want to mention one other SEC note before we dive into the Vanderbilt and NC State drama. According to Brody Miller, he tweeted out on Friday afternoon at 4:47 p.m. And what do you know? A Friday news dump by LSU. 3 more women have come forward in an amended Title IX lawsuit against LSU in regard to the university's mishandling of sexual misconduct allegations. The complaint also, or one of the complaint also adds LSU coach Ed Orgeron as a defendant for failing to report a rape allegation properly. The lawsuit alleges Ed Orgeron was told by a former LSU football player that Darius Geis raped his girlfriend, and Orgeron did not report it. Excuse you. The incident was known before when previously reported by USA Today last year, but now it's been formally named in a Title IX lawsuit against LSU. So LSU continues to have quite the drama on its hands. About as much drama as the NCAA has had to deal with over the last several days, because NC State was forced to be removed from the College World Series due to a COVID outbreak within its program. And for our conversation, we are going to go off of an article from D1 Baseball and Kendall Rogers, a timeline of the events in which took place as to how NC State was taken out of the College World Series by the NCAA. On Sunday, June 20th, the NCAA confirmed that testing the day before the Vanderbilt game revealed no positive COVID-19 tests among all members of the NC State traveling party. NC State was given the all clear to play Vanderbilt on Monday. This was last Monday. On Monday, June 21st, NC State beat Vanderbilt 1-0 to move to 2-0 in the winners bracket. In the post-game press conference, NC State coach Elliott Avent pointed out a few members of the traveling party, including a player, had caught a bug. That's how he described being sick under the weather at the time last Monday. A couple of players, members of the traveling party, including a player, had caught a bug and were needing some rest the next few days. He pointed out that other players were dealing with this bug too. The NCAA said they found out later Monday that one of the players who had the bug had a roommate removed at some point on Sunday, which created some concern inside the NCAA. Fast forward to Tuesday. The player that Avent said had a bug on Monday tested positive in an antigen and PCR test on Tuesday, which deemed him not clear to participate and thus was directed to isolate. The roommate of the individual who was in direct contact was then directed to quarantine, according to the NCAA. The NCAA later found out that the first individual was symptomatic prior to Monday's game, which Avent alluded to in his press conference. Avent did not know at the time it was COVID-19. However, just to make that perfectly clear, assistant coach Chris Hart and others also were tested and were COVID-19 negative, NC State sources told D1 Baseball. Also on Tuesday, the NCAA sought out NC State to find out which members of the traveling party Avent was referring to when he said some of our guys have a bug. Those persons were identified and when tested on June 22nd were negative. And then between Tuesday and Friday, NC State attempted to have the roommate of the first individual tested each day to potentially test out and be able to pitch. That request was not granted, though the individual wound up testing positive later in the week anyway. So that was on Tuesday. Everything I just read was on Tuesday. Fast forward to Friday, which is when all the drama began to go down. NC State and Vanderbilt was scheduled to play at 1 o'clock. I believe that's local time, 1 p.m. Central, on Friday. And NC State, with a win, was going to advance to the College World Series Championship Finals. With a loss, they would play Vanderbilt again on Saturday. So Vanderbilt had to beat NC State in consecutive days to make it out of the loser's bracket and into the College World Series Championship Finals. So that day, again, game time, 1 o'clock local time, it was not considered to be a testing day. However, the individual who was in close contact with the COVID position player or COVID positive player was tested in hopes that he would test negative. It could come out of quarantine sooner and perhaps be able to play. However, that player tested positive for COVID-19. He was then deemed out of action. That gave NC State 2 confirmed positive tests. The same morning, NC State discovered 2 more players had shown symptoms consistent with COVID-19. So NC State was proactive and sent them over to the Marriott. Funny enough, that's where Tennessee stayed, for further testing. Those results arrived 90 minutes before the Vanderbilt game. Both members of the traveling party were positive for COVID. That took the COVID positive total to 4. At that point, the NCAA took this matter up the chain to the championship medical team to further evaluate the situation at hand, which is what created the 45-minute delay in the game start time. It's worth noting the 2 players who tested positive that morning were unvaccinated players. At this point, the NCAA informed NC State that unvaccinated players would be removed from the game and only vaccinated players could play in the game. The NCAA gave NC State the option to either forfeit and try to play Saturday or play on with a limited roster. Avent and his team opted to play, though NC State sources say they proposed to the NCAA to play doubleheader between the 2 teams on Saturday instead. That request was denied, and at the start of the game, unvaccinated members of the NC State team were taken to the Marriott and tested. All of those unvaccinated members of the team were negative for COVID-19, including several prominent players on the roster. None of those players were able to return to the ballpark in time to enter the game. And the most important note is that with NC State having reached 4 positive tests, the team reached outbreak status, which then caused the NCAA to get all members of the team tested, including the vaccinated members who played in the Friday game against Vandy. D1 Baseball says that they touched on how it was possible to test vaccinated players, and NC State sources estimate that full team testing occurred around 7:30 p.m. on Friday night, and that by 11 o'clock that night, They still had not gotten word on test results. There's a lot of frustration from the NC State side of things on the lack of communication during that time. Shortly after that, results began to trickle in for each player. 4 players, all vaccinated, had tested positive, with all other players testing negative. So at this point, late Friday night, 8 total members of NC State's traveling party had tested positive for COVID-19. And then Saturday, June 26th, according to NC State sources, it was around 1 a.m. that the NCAA informed NC State that they were declared a no contest for Saturday's game against Vanderbilt, and thus their season was over. It was then that all COVID-negative players decided to make the trek over to TD Ameritrade Park for one last pitcher behind home plate after a somber meeting with head coach Elliott Avent and his staff. With 8 positive tests and impending contact tracing, the NCAA's point of view was that it would be impossible for NC State to finish the tournament while also caring about the health and safety of participants. Of course, that reasoning will be hotly contested by those who saw countless send-off and welcoming parties at different team hotels around downtown Omaha over the past 2 weeks. All COVID-negative members of the NC State traveling party returned home to Raleigh and were greeted by thousands of fans at a welcome party at Doak Field. Those members will now have to quarantine for at least 7 days, including Avent, who is scheduled to report to USA Baseball on Wednesday. And then the last thing, on Sunday, this is just salt in the wound, this part. All COVID-positive members of the NC State traveling party returned home to Raleigh via a private flight from Omaha's Eppley Airfield. Well, that wasn't salt in the wound. I had heard that they had the bus home. The positive members, I had heard that they had the bus home. So I guess private jet is better than having a bus home. So maybe not salt on the wound. But a long-winded way of explaining the drama that has taken place in Omaha with NC State and Vanderbilt the last couple of days.
Yeah, the salt in the wound is NCAA or a serious Twitter account boasting about the attendance numbers. That's what adds salt in the wound. Team can't play because of COVID, but you allow the stadium to be packed like sardines. Something don't make sense to me. It don't make sense to me. Oh, never mind. It does make sense because those people got to pay for a ticket. They pay. That makes sense. It's about that cash. Nothing that doesn't make a lot of sense is that statement from NCAA, quote, "This decision was made based on the recommendation of the championship medical team and the Douglas County Health Department." This is what the NCAA said. As a result, Vanderbilt will advance to the College World Series. A Douglas County Health Department spokesman, Phil Rooney, by the way, said that the health department did not recommend NC State's removal, but told the NCAA the department will support whatever decision the NCAA made. I can sit here and say 8 players or 8 people inside the organization. That's outbreakish. That's a concern. Mm-hmm. But we're talking about a spot in the finals to play for a national championship. This couldn't have been the only and best option here. It continues the lack of trust, the sneakiness that seems to be going on with the NCAA. The hypocrisy that continues to go on with the NCAA. So 20,000 people can be in the stands, and then you cancel the game. So it's okay for more people to be closer together, but it's not okay to play a baseball game. And then you have the inconsistencies with the story of why they came to the conclusion. Douglas County Health Department says, "No, we didn't recommend." And NCAA saying that they did. University presidents, ADs, commissioners. What you waiting on? What are we waiting on? Man, the time is now. The time is now. Man, if I'm an NC State baseball player, and I saw some, woo, they were hotter than fish grease.
I would have been too.
I would have been. Hey, man.
I was hot as fish grease for them.
Yeah. Yep.
It's so weird. Like the NCAA, like I get their concern for the situation. Because as you just said, Swain, 8 players testing positive or 8 members of the traveling party, 8 members of the organization, that's outbreak level. Regardless of how you feel about COVID, that is outbreak level. And at that point, based off of the guidelines in place, the NCAA is supposed to take that seriously. But what's frustrating is when you hear in a statement that the NCAA determined that NC State was a no contest or was unable to continue playing forward. They made that decision based off of local health guidelines and regulations. But then a spokesperson for the local health guidelines comes out and says that they did not recommend that NC State be declared a no contest. And also, there wasn't a single college baseball game played yesterday. You couldn't have pushed it back a day, done everything in your power to make sure you could avoid deeming NC State a no contest?
Man, they just didn't have a chance to play it on the field, man. They didn't let it play out on the field. Even letting the team be shorthanded, they couldn't even do that. They didn't have a chance to fight.
Yes.
And like you had 4 players who were vaccinated still test positive for COVID. So now everyone's like, you should have got vaccinated. But 4 players were vaccinated.
And that didn't help them.
According to D1 Baseball, right here. It says there's a lot of frustration from the NC side of things on lack of communication during that time frame. Shortly after that point, the results began to trickle in for each player. 4 players, all vaccinated, who had tested positive for COVID-19, with all other players testing negative. 8 total members of NC State's traveling party had tested positive for COVID-19. So you had some that was not vaccinated. You had some that were. It just stinks. It just stinks, and it's another reason not to trust the NCAA. The inconsistencies between the health department and the NCAA. It wasn't too long ago when we had the NCAA basketball tournament, and they botched having a weight room for the ladies. They botched that. You would think your biggest moneymaker, the one championship event where you have your logo on it, that you wouldn't botch that. But the NCAA has been taking L's, it seems like, every other month or every other 2 months. If it's not from Supreme Court bending them over and giving them a nice spanking, then it's this, or it's the freaking the basketball stuff. And then you go and dig. And you really hate to buy into conspiracy theories, but you go and dig and you find out who's on a medical panel for NCAA. Then you see someone with connections to Vanderbilt. How do you not just breeze past that? So it's just a trust level. I don't eight members. Like I'm not just ignoring that. I understand the severity of that, but it's the inconsistencies in the process. It's the lack of communication. It just seems really sneaky.
Yes, and the lack of trying to avoid declaring NC State a no contest is what bugs me. Like, you couldn't have pushed the Vandy NC State series back. You couldn't even consider playing a doubleheader. Instead, it was full steam ahead. And I get that if it's at the beginning of the College World Series and you have a bunch of games to be played, but you did not have a bunch of games to be played.
Nope.
You could have pushed it back or played a doubleheader. And look, I think that Vanderbilt would have beaten NC State both days because you had Kumar Rocker pitching on Friday and then you had Jack Leiter pitching on Saturday. I'm not saying it's out of the realm of possibility that NC State could beat those guys, but if you had me pick a game, if those two teams were playing as usual and you told me to pick who I thought was going to win, I would say Kumar Rocker and Jack Leiter. I think that those two would lead their teams to wins. And I know earlier in the week, NC State beat Jack Leiter 1-0, but the likelihood of Vandy's offense scoring 0 runs again is slim to none. So I realize that they beat Leiter earlier in the week, but they didn't beat Leiter. Vanderbilt's offense beat itself by not being able to give any run support to Leiter. So, I think Kumar would have handled business against a full roster, a full NC State roster on Friday. He handled business against the depleted roster. I believe there were only 13 players available to play for NC State during that Friday game when all the drama started to go down. Kumar handled business on Friday. I think he would have done the same against a full roster. I think Leiter would have handled business on Saturday against a full roster. But although I believe that, I still believe it kind of coincides with my opinion about the college football playoffs and that everybody should have a chance. I believe that every team at the beginning of the season should have a chance to win a national championship. And in this situation, every team should have a chance to play with a full roster. You should have bent over backwards to try and allow NC State to achieve a once-in-a-lifetime accomplishment, and they did not. And although that Vanderbilt probably would have won anyways, you don't know that for sure. NC State lost in Fayetteville, Arkansas, 21-2 to the Razorbacks, the number 1 overall seed in the SEC tournament, the number 1 overall seed in the NCAA tournament. They lost 21-2 on Friday and came back and won the next 2 days to knock off Arkansas, upset Arkansas with Kevin Kopps on the mound, and advance to the College World Series. So although NC State may have been the favorite, they still deserved a chance to knock off Vanderbilt. And the NCAA should have bent over backwards to try and accommodate them, even if that meant pushing the game back to Sunday. They should have bent over backwards, and they didn't. That's the frustrating part for me. Is they rolled over. They're like my dog when my dog gets in trouble. Get on to him once, and the next thing he's on his back trying to be submissive and get me to pet him so he's not in trouble anymore. That's what the NCAA did here. They rolled over. They submitted.
I'm fully vaccinated. I made the choice to do that. Others have not. It's their right. You had some players that was vaccinated. You had some members in the NC State party that were not. I'm not so much caught up on the vaccination as I am how the NCAA had different people having different stories. Mm-hmm. When you have different people saying different stories, if it quacks like a duck, it walks like a duck, it's the M duck. Something is fishy. Something is fishy. It stinks.
And remember, ducks do pull trucks.
You shouldn't have conflicting stories. If you're doing things on the up and up, you shouldn't have conflicting stories. Simple as that. That's more of my issue. I'm not getting into the whole you should vaccinate, they should have been vaccinated. Hey man, that's your personal opinion. That's cool. But NCAA didn't handle it right. And leadership starts at the top. And Mark Emmert, once again, has proven to fail at being the leader of the NCAA. They continue to take L's. And they've been doing this for decades. The NCAA has been operating this way for decades. But now, more and more and more people are starting to see the NCAA for what it is. They're speaking out. NCAA is losing the grips on their model. And this should be what knocks them out. That's more of my stance. I'm not about to get into the you should get vaccinated or not. Y'all can have that. Y'all can have that. I'm telling you, I did because I believe I needed to. But you had players on the NC State team that vaccinated still tested positive. You had folks that didn't vaccinate still tested positive. So, hey, you can come up with what you want to come up with and have whatever take you want to have. I'm more on NCAA had a conflicting story with the health department. It shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like that. 865-255-03. We got For What coming up. We got Hour 3 coming up. Text box, Facebook Live comments, YouTube comments. We'll get to it as we return. Stay with us.
For what is coming up on the Swain Event.
Good morning, Swain Event crew. As the weather heats up, so does our market, and from Johnson City to Knoxville, eager buyers are grabbing up many available properties. The chili is hot in East Tennessee, so if you are ready to buy or sell or want to talk more about our local real estate market, I'm just a phone call away. Or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com. And go Vols!
Is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you.
What are you doing?
Calling around to get the best rate on a car loan.
Why? Everyone knows Alcoa 10 is the best choice to purchase a vehicle or refinance your current loan. And with low interest rates and 90 days to your first payment, it's a no-brainer. You can even apply online and sign all the documents from the convenience of your home.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Alcoa 10 Credit Union. It's so easy. Go to atfcu.com for details. Rates are dependent on credit score and equal housing lender.
More and more Tennessee businesses are switching to Iris Networks for reliable, local, high-quality, high-speed business fiber internet. Iris provides direct internet access from 10 megs to 10 gigs with no payments for 90 days. Iris also offers next-generation business phones with work-from-anywhere capability from the mobile or laptop app. With local sales, support, and service, Iris is a partner in the community. Learn more at irisnetworkusa.com or call 865-448-IRIS. Iris Networks, a Tennessee business connecting Tennessee businesses.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
When I made the move to my own studio, I was worried about this. I was worried about that. I was worried about, hey, did I get this piece of equipment? Did I get that piece of equipment? Does that sound good? Does that not sound good? One thing I didn't have to worry about, that was office furniture, because Office Furniture Outfitters met my furniture needs. With a 50,000 square foot facility, they have East Tennessee's largest selection and are the best value for new and used office furniture. Located in Knoxville, it's easy to find everything you need for your new space, including desks, file cabinets, chairs, conference tables, and more. Office Furniture Outfitters is turnkey. They came to my place, we mapped everything out that was needed, they delivered, and get this, set everything up. To learn more about what Office Furniture Outfitters can do for you, log on to ofonox.com. That's ofonox.com.
It's a new season, which means it's time to rep your team in new ways with gear from Game Time Sidekicks. Rep the Vols with every sip with a new tie-dye tumbler or bottle. They also have a new NFL Players Association product line, so you can support your favorite VFL on Sundays. Want to put your own flair on a tumbler? Game Time Sidekicks has you covered with options to add your own text or even a monogram on the back of your favorite team tumbler. To check out everything that Game Time Sidekicks has to offer, go to GameTimeSidekicks.com. Carry your team with Game Time Sidekicks.
You don't have to take an L just because you can't listen to the Swain Event live. You can catch up on the podcast posted daily on the app, online, and on iTunes.
Let's go to the Irish Networks hotline this morning, 865-255-03. Ben McKee, Jason Swain here, live from the Low T Center studio. Swain Event is fueled by Dead End Barbecue. And let's get to Steve in Georgia. Steve, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Swain. I seen something yesterday. I was kind of perusing YouTube, and I found an old video of Oprah when she had on Michael Jordan and Charles Barkley, and it was hilarious. But he said something on there, and it made me kind of think of something that you've said in the past about entitlement. But she was talking about his endorsements, and he said, yeah, but me and Charles Barkley earned every single dollar that we made on endorsements. We earned it. We put up the numbers. We put up the stats. He said these new kids coming in, he said they're putting money in their pockets on potential. They haven't played a single day in the NBA, and they're getting all these shoe contracts and everything else right out the gate. Mm-hmm. And he said that's setting a bad precedent. And she said, why? He said, because it makes them not work hard. I mean, they've already got the money. Why should they put in any work? Mm-hmm. And it kind of reminded me of what you said with, these recruits and everything else. If, we're going to glorify the recruits, why? What's their motivation for working hard? So I'd like to get your take on what Michael said, and I'll listen off the air. Thanks, man.
Hey, thank you. I mean, that falls in line with why I'm a little leery about just paying athletes, even though I know they deserve more than what they're getting. And everyone's kind of wanting to point the finger at the athlete and blame them for, why it is what it is right now. But, that precedent has been set and was in motion years and years before with these crazy coaching contracts and these crazy amount of money being tossed around. And athletes just kind of looked around and kind of figured it out. But, yeah, I agree 100% with Barkley and Jordan. And I know being in that locker room and hearing stories of guys and where they came from and how they were trying to make their lives better, and they knew that football was the only way. Each and every day they were starving to get to the next level. And I just wonder how much is that going to change when guys may see more money in their pockets than they have in an entire life. And they may not know at that very moment that it's not really a lot in the grand scheme of things if you're trying to have a family and do all those things. But, like, at that age, 18, 19 years old, $10,000, $25,000, $30,000, man, you think you're rich for some guys. How does that change your grind? How does it change your focus? How does it change your mentality each and every day, waking up saying, I got to go get better today? Do you have that type of sense of urgency, or do you say to yourself, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow. No, I'll do it tomorrow. I think it's going to change college football. It's already changing athletics. You see guys before they even play it down, they're getting shoe contracts. I ain't hating. I'm happy for them. It's good for them, but it does change part of the game. There's no other way to look around it. I mean, for so long, it was crazy, Ben, that the guys that never played in a draft, the guys that never played in the league, first round of the NFL draft, their contracts was automatically more than guys who had made All-Pro. And they changed it. Sam Bradford was the last guy that got that big, big bag. And they changed it when Jameis Winston was drafted. And they started, giving these first rounders like a set amount that they were going to make. And it was not as high as it was previously. And that's the way it should be. Like, you got to give yourself some room to go. Like, you got to give yourself some room to grow and earn more. If you get everything or you get a lot without even earning it, what gives you the motivation to go further? Some guys ain't built that way. Some guys are built, it don't matter. I'm going to do my best each and every day. I'm going to try to beat my personal best from yesterday. Some guys are built that way. But the reality is most guys are not. Most guys are not built that way. And there's a lot of guys at different levels that are playing the sport and don't really love it. They just playing because they have to.
It's a job.
Yeah, they don't love it. So, yeah, Steve, I mean, it was heading in that direction for years and years and decades. But we just here now. We're here. And, I feel for the sports fan. I really do. Because it's going to change the way you cheer for your team. It's going to change the way you cheer for a player. It's going to change your outlook on sports itself at the professional level and at the college level. It's going to change. Like, it's changed for me. I'm telling you, man, every time I see a recruit rocking a uniform, it could be Florida, it could be Alabama, it could be anywhere. Man, I roll my eyes. I'm like, ugh. And I just think about, like, what you had to do to even be able to put on a uniform. Like, to put on a uniform, you had to sign. Like, you had to sign and actually, like, you didn't put on a uniform until the first game of the season. Like, I didn't put on a uniform picture day. You put on a uniform for picture day during fall camp. That was the first time you put on the uniform. But it was after you had signed, after you had did some workouts, halfway, during camp. Like, now you just got to show up. And you get to put the uniform on the same exact way as a guy that has the ultimate amount of skin in the game, who's a junior, went through multiple surgeries, who is going through summer workouts, who's given their complete all. But you get to wear the uniform just like that dude. I just think it's weird. But, yeah, Steve, I agree with Charles, and I agree with Michael Jordan.
Other McKee, because, again, he is the GOAT, makes another great point by mentioning Ben Simmons. 5-year, $177 million guaranteed contract, and he still can't shoot. And he's just now saying the shooting has been an issue for Ben Simmons for several seasons now. I believe this was his 6th NBA season, or this is going to be his 6th NBA season. He's been in the league for a hot minute now, and the shooting has been an issue, and he's just now coming out and saying after they were just eliminated by the Hawks, oh, I'm going to go get better. It's not going to happen again.
Ben,
bro,
that's not the first
you've been
time.
a terrible shooter your entire career.
Remember that video I showed you, 2017,
Yes.
Local Reporter, where he said that, shooting won't be an issue moving forward. Free throws won't be an issue moving forward. That was 4 years ago.
But you know what happened? He got the bag.
Got the bag,
and when
man.
you get the bag, you're complacent. And Ben Simmons isn't built like others. I mean, that's a clear indication of his work ethic, in my opinion, at that level. I'm sure Ben Simmons works hard, but to correct what needs to be corrected, he has not put in enough effort. Because I tell you what, Ja Morant did not have a good shooting year. Ja Morant is not going to have a shooting problem next year. I can guarantee you that. Because Ja's going to get up thousands of shots each day this offseason.
Lonzo Ball is the example, my friend. He is a perfect example. Hour 3 coming up.
For what is coming up on the Swain Event.
Good morning, Swain Event crew. As the weather heats up, so does our market, and from Johnson City to Knoxville, eager buyers are grabbing up many available properties. The chili is hot in East Tennessee, so if you are ready to buy or sell or want to talk more about our local real estate market, I'm just a phone call away. Or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com. And go Vols!
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Guys, your health right now is more important than ever. I recommend Low T Center. That's where I get my levels checked. It all starts with the annual wellness exam where they do a comprehensive health assessment exclusively for men, making it quick and easy to take care of your health. And now they offer monitored self-inject at-home testosterone treatment. Most insurance is accepted. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment and make your health a priority. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
It's a new season, which means it's time to rep your team in new ways with gear from Game Time Sidekicks. Rep the Vols with every sip with a new tie-dye tumbler or bottle. They also have a new NFL Players Association product line, so you can support your favorite VFL on Sundays. Want to put your own flair on a tumbler? Game Time Sidekicks has you covered with options to add your own text or even a monogram on the back of your favorite team tumbler. To check out everything that Game Time Sidekicks has to offer, go to GameTimeSidekicks.com. Carry your team with Game Time Sidekicks.
If you're coming to Knoxville and need a place to stay, do yourself a favor and book a room at Hampton Inn Paper Mill, also known as the Hampton on the Hill. This award-winning property is literally in the top 5% of all Hampton Inn properties. The GM, Stephen Lawrence, is a good old local boy who grew up in the business around Knoxville. He and his staff are always available, always willing to help, and will go above and beyond for their guests. The newest Hampton Inn in Knoxville has clean, affordable rooms, flat screens, fridges, and microwaves in every room. Plus, breakfast is included in every rate. Not to mention, there's also a pool and fitness center on site. If it wasn't so close to amazing restaurants, bars, and shopping, you would never want to leave. At only 6 miles from campus, you're still right in where the big orange action is. Go to HamptonInn.com, search Knoxville, and book your room at the Hampton Inn Paper Mill or call 865-693-5400.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Swain Event fueled by Dead End Barbecue, Hour 3, powered by Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. So, Penny Hardaway, Memphis basketball coach, interviewed with the Orlando Magic for 4 hours. He was impressive. My question, the same question that you have, Ben. Why? I don't understand if you are Orlando why, unless, and that's something that Ben said off the air earlier, this is about selling tickets, because nothing Penny has done at Memphis suggests that he is ready to be an NBA coach from an X's and O's standpoint. From a hype standpoint, absolutely. Absolutely, man. The energy that entered that Memphis basketball program the moment he was hired, recruits basically falling at the feet of Penny Hardaway, Penny in Memphis having a top 5 recruiting class, but it did not materialize. NCAA stuff, you have some lack of development. You have guys leaving the program. Like, if there was a college coach that Orlando Magic should be trying to talk to, it ain't Penny.
No.
But I know who is happy, or who would be happy if Penny leaves. You know, coach be the most happy?
No.
It'd be Coach Calipari. He'd be the most happy.
Why?
Because Coach K is out of there. Roy Williams is out of there. Penny came on the scene, was giving Coach Calipari some trouble. Penny has beaten Kentucky out for players. And so now if Penny is gone, Coach Kyle really only has to worry about Rick Barnes and Tom Izzo and
you pronounced Rick Barnes incorrectly. He is known as Daddy when discussing John Calipari.
Well, I ain't calling him Daddy, but yes,
Rick Barnes is John Calipari's daddy.
Yeah. So like if I'm Coach Cal, I'm like, oh yeah, go ahead, go to the NBA. Oh yeah, it makes it easier for me to go out and get more talent, even though he's done that the whole time he's been there. But okay, Memphis. I wonder how the Memphis fans feel about their beloved son interviewing for Orlando Magic job.
I just do not get it, other than it would help them sell tickets the same way it helped Memphis when they canned Tubby to go get Penny. That is the only thing that makes sense. And if that is the thought process, then I absolutely despise it, because selling tickets is not going to help you win basketball games.
No.
And last I checked, you don't recruit in the NBA. You do not recruit in the NBA. And he is going to get coached circles around him. Now, I don't think Penny is as bad of a coach as many think that he is. A lot of people think that he can't coach at all, and I disagree with taking it that far. You go watch this past season, that Memphis basketball team, and they were one of the best teams in the country at the end of the year. I realized that they did not make the NCAA tournament, but they were better than a lot of NCAA tournament teams at the end of the year. They were better than Tennessee at the end of the year. There was a vast improvement from the beginning of the season to the end of the season, and your team is incapable of doing that if you don't press the right buttons. And there's been some theories that maybe it was some of the assistant coaches, and he lost some assistant coaches to head coaching jobs, I believe, or some that moved on. I know he had to fill some spots on his staff this offseason. So maybe it was his assistant coaches that played a large role in that. But I don't think Penny is as bad as people make him out to be. But he is so far from being a legitimate NBA coach, because he can get by with not being the best X's and O's guys in college, because he can recruit a bunch of talented dudes, and those talented dudes are going to go win you your fair share of games. So you won't be able to push across the finish line and get a championship by just relying on athleticism and natural ability and your recruiting to allow your program to win. You have to be able to do both. You have to be able to coach, and you have to be able to recruit. And Penny lacks the coaching aspect of it. But in the NBA, you have to be able to
adjust. You got to make in-game adjustments.
Yes, well, I not even speaking about the coaching aspect, because you have to be able to not piss off your best player. David Fizdale pissed off Marc Gasol the year before he got fired, took his captaincy – I think I said that correctly – captaincy away from him in the middle of the season, told him that his European championships meant absolutely nothing, and Marc Gasol is a prideful person.
Dang.
And telling him that his European championships don't mean nothing, and touting your championship with the Heat when you were an assistant coach, and saying, I know what to do because I'm LeBron. Like, you do that and you lose your best player, you're not going to have a job for much longer. And what do you know? He didn't have a job for much longer. He got fired by the Grizzlies, and then because of that experience, he tried to make sure the players in New York tried to like him too much, and he got canned at New York. There's a great article in The Undefeated that just came out about Dave Fizdale really opening up on kind of what went wrong. So that's kind of that point that I was trying to make. In addition to the coaching, like Penny would have to play nice with superstars. He and I don't know how he would do.
Well, I don't have any. They traded all of them away.
I know, but like even if like they were able to
draft a player,
yeah, like I don't know how Penny would do with. I could see him being successful at managing those people, but he hasn't even done a great job of managing recruits at Memphis.
Think about this, man. 2-time NBA championship coach Rick Carlisle was basically pushed out because of his relationship with Luka, who is the franchise player. So the 2-time champion coach moves. Penny has to deal with that if he is hired by the Magic. But I want to know how the Memphis basketball fans feel about Penny flirting with the NBA after Memphis gave him the opportunity to be a college coach with zero coaching experience in college. Now, he had AAU experience and did a great job. But what other school will bring in Penny straight from the AAU circuit outside of Memphis? I don't know. Maybe a smaller school, maybe a bigger school. I don't know. But Memphis brought him in. He went to Memphis. He is to Memphis what Peyton Manning is to Tennessee. So just think about if Peyton Manning was the coach, and after 2-3 years he starts flirting with an NFL job. Like, you'll feel a certain type of way if you're a Tennessee fan. So I want to know like how the Memphis basketball fans feel about Penny flirting with the NBA to go through a 4-hour interview. You don't do that unless you're really, really interested.
And we want to talk about – I'm really not trying to open up a can of worms, but this comment might swing. We want to talk about people not getting opportunities at the head coaching level in the NBA, yet Penny is going to surpass somebody like a Becky Hammon or the young lady from the Oklahoma City – she was with the Pelicans. I forget her name off the top of my head.
Teresa Weatherspoon.
Yes, thank you. Or even a Kara Lawson. Like in my opinion – those three are more capable of coaching an NBA team than Penny is.
I mean,
and he's just gonna surpass the system because he has former player privilege.
Hey man, that's a good point, especially Becky Hammon.
Yes, especially Becky Hammon,
because Becky's been under Coach Pop for a while, and she has served as an interim head coach at a game or so when Pop was ejected. You know, Tim Duncan has entered that role, but he stopped coaching. But Becky is probably the most deserving assistant female coach there is in the NBA. And I hate that she didn't get the Portland job. You know, and folks trying to point to, you know, she got passed up because she's a female. I don't know that because Chauncey
he was deserving.
He was, you know, he's been mentioned with GM jobs. He's very, very intelligent. I mean, I won't go there and say that, you know, she was just passed up because, you know, she's a woman. She was a finalist. But I think she's ready, man. I think she's ready. But yeah, you're right, man. If Orlando Magic want to hire, or interview Penny Hardaway 4 hours, they should be talking to Becky Hammond too, man. If you ask me. All right, let me get to the text box. Dave from the 423 says, "Give me Rick in a daddy hat." So maybe Rick Barnes needs to wear a daddy hat since he doesn't want to wear the orange blazer against Kentucky and Vanderbilt. Maybe he can wear the daddy hat when he plays against Kentucky. But I don't think basketball coaches can wear hats on the sideline.
Have they ever tried, though?
I don't know. Other McKee says, Penny was my favorite NBA player growing up. I can't stand him as a coach. He has done nothing to deserve an NBA job. Penny was – it was weird because, Penny was the enemy of my Bulls back in the day. But I loved Penny.
You loved his shoes.
Yeah, but I loved his game too, man. He was a bigger point guard. He was a guard that could shoot it. It was athletic, and I didn't play point, but I was kind of, that athletic shooting guard. That's why I like. I'm always kind of biased towards guards, guys like Dame and Steph. I'm biased towards guards, but Penny. I don't know. I love Penny as a player. And then they, knocked my Bulls out when Jordan came back from the retirement. And I still liked him. And maybe the shoes part of it too. The little Penny with Chris Rock playing his character had a lot to do with it. And I had met Penny one day. I was at a wedding in Memphis, and he was just sitting there. I was like, "Is that Penny Hardaway?" Said what's up to him. I was like, "Oh my God, that's freaking Penny Hardaway of all places." I didn't even want to be at the wedding, but I saw Penny. I was like, "Oh man, this is pretty cool." But my wife ain't listening.
I hope that whoever's wedding it was is not listening.
I doubt it.
What if they are, though?
I mean, you gotta understand. You just gotta understand. It is what it is. I'm telling the truth. But just weird. We'll see what the Orlando Magic, what they do, and we'll see how Penny, if he does return, how he's received. Because a lot of folks changed their opinion about Rick Barnes after he almost took the UCLA job, and their opinion hasn't changed.
They're still frustrated with Barnes.
Oh yeah, they are. So does the new wear off? Does the love wear off for Memphis fans, knowing that Penny was he's deep in conversations about leaving?
For the Magic, who don't even have anybody.
I know. Neil Mafia, man, you ain't never met no Penny Hardaway. I did meet Penny. He hit me in my chest. I got up. It was Penny right there in front of me.
By the way, I met a Green Bay Packer on Friday and talked to him. And I said, please whoop that trick when you play the Chicago Bears twice this year.
Whatever.
Please.
Swain Event. Be right back.
Brought to you by the Low T Center and LowTCenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at GarzaLaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
Good morning, Swain Event crew. As the weather heats up, so does our market, and from Johnson City to Knoxville, eager buyers are grabbing up many available properties. The chili is hot in East Tennessee, so if you are ready to buy or sell or want to talk more about our local real estate market, I'm just a phone call away. Or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com. And go Vols!
More and more Tennessee businesses are switching to Iris Networks for reliable, local, high-quality, high-speed business fiber internet. Iris provides direct internet access from 10 megs to 10 gigs with no payments for 90 days. Iris also offers next-generation business phones with work-from-anywhere capability from the mobile or laptop app. With local sales, support, and service, Iris is a partner in the community. Learn more at irisnetworkusa.com or call 865-448-IRIS. Iris Networks, a Tennessee business connecting Tennessee businesses.
Guys, your health right now is more important than ever. I recommend Low T Center. That's where I get my levels checked. It all starts with the annual wellness exam where they do a comprehensive health assessment exclusively for men, making it quick and easy to take care of your health. And now they offer monitored self-inject at-home testosterone treatment. Most insurance is accepted. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment and make your health a priority. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
If you want to get in on the conversation, call the Iris Networks hotline at 865-200-5503. Grow your business with Iris Networks high-speed fiber internet. irisnetworksusa.com.
I love me some Nilla Mafia, man. Anytime you can throw out a Coming to America reference, you know it's going to be a good day.
Speaking of Coming to America, you'll appreciate this. Remember in the movie when, forgive me, I'm not good with characters, but they were singing My Queen or whatever?
Mm-hmm. My queen to be.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Eddie Murphy sang that.
Mm-hmm.
So when Kari's bride, the bridal party came in, Kari walked down the aisle, and then the bridal party walked down the aisle, and everybody was in place. We were all waiting on the bride. She had not come out yet. They played that.
Oh, that's great.
And then they played the Beyonce and Ed Sheeran song. That was my first dance song that I can't remember the name of it. I know who sang it. Beyonce and Ed Sheeran. It was my first dance song. It's that you're likely to hear that Beyonce song.
I'm looking up for you, man.
I don't know.
I don't remember my song either. The Perfect Duet.
I think so.
I don't remember my song either. I gotta be
Well, I remember my song. I just don't remember the name of it. There's a difference, but
I'm moving on.
It was the Perfect Duet. That is the because we were just kids when we fell in love, and my wife wanted to do that one since we're high school sweethearts. So, but everybody was cracking up that they played the Coming to America, My
That's
Queen, before she came out, and then they played the song that she actually wanted to come down the aisle. It was a cool moment, funny moment. I immediately thought of you because I knew you would appreciate that.
Oh, I love that. Good job, Kari. Disappointing you, though.
Why?
Because you didn't go by Magic City and get any lemon pepper wings.
I was not fit to drive after the wedding, or else I would have.
Uber Eats?
You think that would have delivered? I'm against the whole Uber Eats thing. Like, I'm not paying for somebody to bring me food. That's not like a pizza delivery boy or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm against Grubhub and Uber. I'm against it. Yeah. I'm boomer against that.
I haven't used them either.
I'm not paying because some of the fees are outrageous. I'm not paying those fees. But the plans were to go get some lemon pepper wings. The wife was down for it too. We were going to do curbside pickup.
I'm sure.
Like you do with your 3 kids in the back of the car.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
Next time I go to Atlanta, man, I'm going by there.
Next time I go, I am too. And as a matter, I'll be in Atlanta next month because my sorry blankety blank Yankees play the Braves on a Monday and Tuesday in August. So I can go by and get some then. And then I'm going to a concert in September.
Oh, yeah.
In Atlanta.
Plenty of opportunities to go.
Yeah, so I can go get them twice. Actually, I've been in Atlanta for 2 days, so really I can go 3 times. I can go each night I'm there.
Yeah. I'm gonna meet Rodney from Austell up there, man.
Me, Rodney, Chip Payne, we're all going to be at Magic City outside on the curb eating our lemon pepper wings.
It's a long drive from Chip. I don't know if you're going to be able to make that drive. Nelson says, I don't remember mine either, Swain. Yeah, I can say it. I don't remember mine now. My wife's not in the house right now. so she can't hear me unless she listens on the app,
which is
damn.
possible.
Damn. Anyways,
I've got you beat. Last thing, and then we'll move on. I've got you beat in terms of forgetting something from the wedding day, and it's not necessarily me forgetting something, but today, 2 years ago, we got married, and I still have not watched our wedding video that we paid a lot of money for a videographer and a photographer, and I still have not watched my wedding video, and my wife reminds me precisely 3 times a day.
Anyway.
Especially
you'll always have something to look forward to.
Especially today. She's like, so you gonna watch it? You gonna watch it? No, I don't want to watch it. Leave me alone. I don't want to cry. Leave me alone.
I'm going to YouTube, man. You might get us in trouble. David Speak says Salter is a classic case of what might have been. Yep, and listen, he may go somewhere else and knock it out of the park. I hope he does. I really hope he does.
As long as it's not an SEC school.
Yeah, but and the kid's been through so much. You know, I hope he is successful wherever he goes. But he got to grow up. He got to grow up. You can't use that as an excuse your whole entire life, man. Because bad things happen to us when even when we don't deserve it. But we can't let that be the reason why we don't continue to do what we need to do. We can't use that as an excuse. So he's going to have to grow up. And I hope he does it before it's too late. Fake One says, dang, y'all's bald heads look alike.
False. Mine looks better.
That's fine. My brother Brian says, that snap and pop of the canned Gatorade with exclamation points. Oh, you remember that canned Gatorade. Ain't nothing like it, man. Matthew Sherman says, when Salter is older and looks back at the shoulda, woulda, coulda, he will kick himself in the cherries for the missed opportunity. If he gets a second chance somewhere, I hope he takes advantage of it. I mean, I can see him going to Oklahoma and tearing it up. I mean, I can see him going somewhere else tearing it up. I mean, he has skills, but he's going to have to mature. He's going to have to mature quick, fast, and in a hurry. Because right now he reminds me of the quarterback from Last Chance U. You can't be a quarterback getting in trouble, man. You could be a receiver, you could be a linebacker that gets in trouble, but quarterbacks getting in trouble, those are some other issues if I'm a school that I'll be concerned about. You can't make decisions right off the field. How in the hell I'm going to trust you on third down and long with the blitz in the fourth quarter? Tiger says, why would Salter kick himself? He'll be fine, if anything, when he leaves and shines at Oklahoma after his red shirt behind Spencer Rattler and becomes a Heisman candidate. Well, he should kick himself because he just got kicked off the team. I mean, I would hope that he's remorseful.
He seemed remorseful in the little Instagram post that he had, and I liked his message of his past mistakes. I'm paraphrasing, but his past mistakes aren't meant to define him, but they're meant to guide him.
Yeah.
So hopefully he's not saying that just because he's posting on social media. Hopefully he truly means that and takes it to heart and does get things turned around. And they're not drastic things that need to be turned around. He's not like just in a terrible, terrible situation. He could be kicked off for far worse. I mean, to me, outside looking in, they seem like pretty fixable mistakes to me moving forward. Pretty fixable things in his life.
If he's going to be the player that we think he can be based on his talent, his work ethic has to be like Harrison Bailey's. And the fact of the matter is it's not. And so I hope that he's going to be fine. I hope that he turns it around. But the decision-making off the field, obviously that has to improve, and what he did here can't happen anywhere else. The most concerning thing is I didn't hear reports about him throwing with receivers all the time. So your priority has to be football. That's one thing you can say about Jawan Jennings. Like, dude put that work in. He might have had some bad mistakes here and there and questionable decision-making here and there and got himself dismissed and had a couple half-dozen chances, but there was no wiggle room. There was no question about what mattered to Jawan on that football field. He didn't take an opportunity or pass up an opportunity to get better on that football field when it became time. You can also argue that him making the mistakes, he was passing up opportunities, but I never heard anything like, man, I don't know, man. He don't really work hard. He don't catch extra balls. People ask him to throw, he like, no. Like, I never heard of that. And so that's what Salter has to realize. You play quarterback, you need to sleep, eat, and breathe football. You need to always be throwing with wide receivers. If a wide receiver asks you to throw, you should always be ready to throw. That's what he's going to have to develop, is he has to be a football junkie. Because, Tiger mentioned Oklahoma. Bro, you got to be a football quarterback junkie at Oklahoma to get on the football field. Like, you got to be a junkie at this level. You don't have to be a junkie somewhere else, a little small school, but at the big time level, and if you want to play at the next level, you got to be a freaking junkie, man, about this. This is not a game. All right, let me go to Facebook. Todd Loveday says, I don't know how long it would take, but I believe in this staff. Heupel develops quarterbacks. Garner develops defensive linemen. Martinez develops DBs. We've been watching players regress and not progress, and I'm excited to change. Chomry says, I believe in hype, but believe they hype. He said, let's go Vols coaching staff. I'm excited to see their coaching scheme unfold on Saturdays. Keep on bringing in the top players during recruiting. Chomry also says he's good to see you. Great to see you back, Ben.
Thank you, my friend.
Here's my hang up. Here's my hang up. This administration, I've had a better experience with this administration than any administration since I've played or after. My role, at least this is what I see myself as, I'm trying to bridge the gap between our fans, our foreign players, and our administration. I'm trying to help in that way. At the same time as doing my show and maintaining my credibility. But I feel like I have a platform that I should use for good, and that can help us get to where we want to be. But when it comes time to tell the truth, good or bad, that's something I'm going to do because my credibility is more important than anything. At the same time, what I'm fighting is this previous staff had the accolades. This previous staff individually had coaches that coached, recruited, and developed NFL players. You brought in Jim Chaney. You bring in T. Martin. You have Jay Graham. Oh, my goodness. And what happened. And so far, I do believe that the culture is a whole lot better. I believe in Josh Heupel as a developer of quarterbacks. I believe in guys like Willie Martinez and Rodney Garner who are proven. But I need to see more. I got to see it. Because we've been burned. We've been burned. It's not like we don't think they can do it or against the staff. This is like the fourth or fifth staff. I just need to see it. I want to see it on the field. For our fans who follow this program like really tight, really close, I'm sure it feels like a cycle for you. Get excited, get your hopes up, disappointment. Pick yourself off the mat. Get excited, disappointment. Get excited about something you think is going to happen, doesn't happen. And I'm not talking about just the wins and losses. I'm talking about, you have a coach that comes across this way. You have a staff that come across this way. And they can do this, they can do that, and it doesn't happen. That doesn't mean that gives you a green light to be negative and pessimistic and trash everything that the staff is doing, or when a in-state player decides to go Ole Miss, you assume the absolute worst. Like, it doesn't mean that. It just means that, all right, I'm going to go to the games. I'm going to support my squad. I'm going to believe they can get it done until they give me a reason that they can't. But I don't know about going over the top with my maybe optimism, because I kind of want to wait and see. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So that's kind of where I am. Like, I'm just like, I've been impressed with Harper, but like I still haven't jumped in with 2 feet because I want to see it first. I want to see them do it. I want to see us play a game before I jump anywhere. What are we gonna do against Pittsburgh and Bowling Green? And I don't care about players' tweets and what they say they're doing and what's going on. I don't care about that because I want to see it. Because when the games are played, everything that was said on Twitter will either prove to be true or prove to be false. It will. You got guys tweeting one thing, and you would think that they're the team captain and everything is good, and the next minute they gone. Like, you can't trust that either. So for me, I want to see it. When you run through that tee, when it's third down, and you on defense, and all 11 dudes are game tackling, or your quarterback gets hit, and you got multiple offensive linemen going to pick him up, or someone scores a touchdown or makes a good play, you got a bunch of guys celebrating together. All right, now I've seen something. Or in-game adjustments being made. I'm optimistic, but I'm not over the top yet. All right, let's go to the phones. Let's get to Glenn. Glenn, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, Glenn. Good morning, man. Hope you having a great Monday so far.
Man, I'm listening to you, so it can't get any better. Hey, just ask Ben if you want some positivity. Just go over to VolQuest, man. It's full of it. So, no, just kidding, man. They do a great job. Hey, as a player though, you would know this. What I want to see is when adversity hits. Mm-hmm. When this previous staff, when adversity hit, they just tanked. You could see it. Not only in the players' eyes, but just the way they played. For me, I want to see what this team does and what this coaching staff does when adversity hits, when things aren't going their way. Mm-hmm. How do they react to that? That's my biggest thing. And I'm like you. Look, I think everybody gets excited with change, but it's really hard to dive in full go when everything we've been through the last 15 years. So, I think you got to take that wait-and-see approach.
Yep.
But I wanted to ask a question to you right quick, and it's probably been talked about so much, but how much of this investigation is playing into a fact of recruiting? I think you can recruit Tennessee. I don't think there's any doubt about it. But I do think this staff, with that hanging over them, I do think it's hurting them in some ways. So at what point and where do you guys see that coming to an end? I appreciate you guys taking my call.
Hey, thank you, Glenn. Before the NIL stuff, and then the transfer portal, being passed, and guys are able to transfer within the conference. Like I was really worried about Tennessee's chances to recruit because, I'm from Alabama, and I remember being recruited by Alabama when they were going through some of the same things that Tennessee's going through. And it had not been necessarily announced what their penalty were going to be, but I knew that they were not going to go to a bowl game for a couple of years. And, it kind of turned me off. But, like, if I really wanted to go to a place today and you could transfer and go anywhere you want to at any time, and it's a freebie, you didn't have to sit out a year, then I would still go to that place if it really touched my heart. And if the penalties were too severe, then I would get out. And I think that could help Tennessee. I don't know the selling points that Tennessee is using. I don't know the angle. I don't know the pitch. But if I'm on this staff, that would be my pitch. If I'm a coach, hey, I don't know the NCAA sanctions. I don't know what's going to happen. I have no clue. That's above my pay grade. I'm here to develop young men, recruit them, coach them up. But let me be real with you. If this is a place where you feel like you need to be, and if the sanctions come out and they're too severe for you, just transfer. No one's holding you. That would be my pitch. And if I was a recruit and I really liked the place, I would feel more comfortable about going to that place, even with the question marks hanging over that program's head, if I knew that I had the opportunity to get out if I needed to. When I was coming out in 03, 02, we knew that you better make the right choice the first time, because if you could do it over, you got to go outside the conference and then outside the recruiting bubble. By the time you transfer somewhere, you'll be at Wyoming State, because schools wouldn't release you to, number one, schools outside the conference or schools that they were recruiting against. Well, hell, you recruit against everybody. So if you were a Tennessee player, you want to transfer to Clemson, you probably couldn't even do that because you recruit players from South Carolina. So sorry, you got to go Delaware State Tech. But I would feel a little bit easier. I would be more at ease as a recruit with really any school that may be under some investigation, because I know I could just leave at any time. So if I was considering LSU, all right, man, still come. But if y'all get popped, I'm out. That's how I would look at it. But I don't know how we're selling this thing. I don't. I'm not on the phones with the coaches and the recruits. I don't know the sale. I think what you can control and what you should focus on is what you can control, and that is developing genuine relationships and doing it the right way, because it could pay off for you. They may go somewhere else, but the moment that they're unhappy or they want to leave, they may come here. That should be the focus, is developing genuine relationships and doing it the right way. Because if you focus on that, you may not get all the players you want initially, but you'll attract players. And then if you win, you'll really attract players. And it's okay if you come in second or third, because guys are transferring left and right. You may get them the next time. So that should be the focus. That should be the focus for Tennessee. And from what I'm hearing, that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. Swain Event. Be right back.
replay of each day's Swain Event TV, like us on Facebook.
JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799.
Home service problems occur, even at the most inconvenient times, like during a health crisis. And Tiller is always here to help you 24/7. As people are social distancing and staying at home on workdays, it's an easier time to take care of home maintenance items that you feel are necessary. And we've put new safety precautions in place, like wearing gloves, avoiding physical contact, new sanitation protocols, and limiting time in your home. We're here for you.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
Good morning, Swain Event crew. As the weather heats up, so does our market, and from Johnson City to Knoxville, eager buyers are grabbing up many available properties. The chili is hot in East Tennessee, so if you are ready to buy or sell or want to talk more about our local real estate market, I'm just a phone call away. Or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com. And go Vols!
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Swain Event fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Ben McKee, Jason Swain, live here from the Low T Center studio. Let's go back to those phones. And sorry, Ben, I totally forgot who you told me was on.
It's all good. We had a conversation after I told you. We got Justin.
Justin's on. Good morning, Justin.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen.
What's up?
How we
What's
doing
up?
today?
Good, man. Even better now, man. Thanks for calling.
Hey. Hope you guys had a great weekend. I know I did. Wanted to shout out to a buddy of mine named Basil, who I think is the only Tennessee fan in Vol Nation that's actually happy that Vanderbilt's playing in the College World Series. It's kind of embarrassing to admit, but I don't understand why he's anchored down on that one. But real quick,
hey,
wanted
Justin.
to definitely throw out some commentary on the recruiting because it seems to be a really hot topic. From what I had heard was what you heard, Swain, and I'm not saying my sources are all that great, but you know that is definitely the pitch they're giving kids. I think what kind of I don't think it's necessarily hurting us. I think kids just want to see what the product's going to look like within the SEC. They know what it looked like at UCF. I think they want to see what it looks like within, you know, our brand of football. And you've got a lot of kids that are ranked 3-star up through 5-star that are just going, you know something, I'm not in a rush to make a decision. And a lot of kids, especially now that things are opening up, they're not rushing. They actually want to take officials to live games, full stadiums, and they're just kind of in wait-and-see mode. You know, some other programs, I mean, look at what's going on with Georgia. They got a bunch of early commitments. They've had, 4 or 5 decommitments here lately. So I think it's just a kind of a product of the environment. I have no idea where we're going to finish up in terms of recruiting. But, you know, I think a lot of that's going to come down to what kind of product we put on the field. And I don't necessarily mean we got to go out there and win 9 games or anything like that. I just think we need something to sell, because even going back to the previous staff, what did we really have to hang our hat on to sell recruits other than playing time? And, you know, you look at the offense didn't put up great numbers. The defense wasn't elite. I mean, we need something to be able to sell recruits, and I think that's what recruits are doing right now is they're in a wait-and-see mode. Would you guys agree to that?
Yeah. And I think the 2 biggest things for Tennessee is, can your current players recruit for you? And that goes back to culture. So you better be treating them right and being genuine with them, because they're going to be your biggest spokesman. And then what are you doing on the football field on Saturdays to show these recruits that they fit in or they can be a part of the solution? Because what you're telling them on the phones about where the program is and where the football team is and what they can do with them, if they're getting blown out, then there's a disconnect. There's some discrepancies there with what you're selling and what kids are seeing on the field. And then if you tell them how we're a family and we do this and we do that, but they come on campus and you talk to players and the players are like, you know, I mean, I don't know if you should come here. I don't know. I mean, you gotta make, you know, that's up to you. I ain't gonna tell you not to come, but I mean, I don't know if I would. Like, if you got players saying that, then you're in trouble. You want players speaking for you on your behalf, saying, man, hey man, Hypo, dude, the culture's so much different, man. These coaches care about me, man, off the field, and that's what you're hearing. So I think those are the 2 biggest selling points that Hypo and company really have to make sure that they nail.
And I agree with that. And what, you know, it's sad to say that there were actually players in the past that were kind of giving that negative vibe to some recruits.
Oh, yeah. This
It
player
sounds
that
terrible. It's coming from our own players within our own program, but it was reality.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The player even picked up the phone and called one, told him not to come here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Hey, Swain, I'm going to hop off the phone here, but I got to do one thing. Ben, 0-6, 6 games, not even 1 win against the Red Sox.
Terrible.
I mean, the first series, you know, I heard your explanation was that there were a lot of injuries and stuff, but this series, oof.
Bad baseball.
Oof.
Bad
Very
baseball.
bad baseball.
About as bad as being swept by the Orioles.
No.
I think I'd rather go
this is
0-6
worse.
than get swept by the Orioles.
This is worse. It's always going to be worse.
Are,
This rivalry.
What
cuts
stinks
much
too
deeper.
is that the Yankees were playing like between the 2 sweeps, because the first sweep by the Red Sox was at the beginning of the month, and the Yankees had actually been playing good baseball between that sweep
they had.
and then this weekend. They had beaten the Blue Jays and the White Sox and several good teams. The Rays.
Yeah, they were. I agree with you on that. They were actually playing really good baseball.
And then they
but
show
I
up
don't
and
know
they
what
just
happened.
pee down their leg. Like, thankfully, I was not able to watch this weekend. I was too busy to watch. Thankfully, I don't want to talk about it. Why I was having a good Monday. Why would you ruin it for me?
Well, because you know it's the end of the show, and now you get to stew on it all day.
That's fine. Just
Boys,
keep
you
that
have a
same
great
energy
day
later on
for
this year.
yourself.
I expect
Have a
comments
great
and
day
phone
for
calls when the Yankees bounce back, Justin.
Have a great day for yourself.
We got Jay.
Are we going for Mississippi State tonight? I mean,
yes, clanger.
All right.
How can you be a Tennessee fan and root for Vanderbilt?
I don't know how you do that. Like,
blows
how do you
my
lie
mind.
to yourself? Well, I mean, they are from Tennessee.
They are the SEC.
I mean,
you realize that Tony Vitello and Tim Corbin go up against one another for these same recruits?
Yeah, Corbin gets up in Knoxville and grabs players from Farragut.
Correct.
Yeah, we
don't need Vanderbilt winning.
Yeah, we're gonna go with the Cowbells, I guess. Ugh.
What do you mean? At least it's better than other schools we would have to root for.
I know, but still don't like it. All right, let's get to Jay. Jay, good morning.
Swain, good morning, brother.
What's up, Jay?
Well, currently I'm sitting at the inn at Park Square here in Clemson, South Carolina. I'm sitting on the front porch of my hotel and listening to the Swain Event. And I'm up here visiting some friends for the weekend. I'm about to head out here soon. And you was talking about football and football recruits and stuff like that, Swain. And this is my first time ever being here. Okay, I've never been here before. Dabo must be the greatest salesman I've ever seen. One of the only things I could think of when I was here and seeing the camp, and there's some nice stuff. I mean, there's some lakes and stuff. It's a nice area. Don't get me wrong, but
it's Clemson.
Death Valley looks like a Cracker Jack box compared to our stadium, and it's really not even a nice small stadium. I wouldn't even consider it. It's concrete.
They got that new athletic. They got some upgrades with that athletic complex recently.
That football center does look nice. It's kind
They
of
have a
off.
slide.
Yeah, that does look nice.
What is
I
this,
haven't
Chuck E.
seen the
Cheese?
inside of that. But the only thing I can think of is how in the world have we been? There's more to do in Market Square than this entire town. There's more to do in Market Square than the entire town of Clemson has altogether. And I see everything that, Tennessee has to offer. I'm just thinking, how has Clemson been this great and we have been this bad? Because I was thinking, man, I'm going to see Death Valley. I want to see what this looks like. And kind of, it didn't really, nothing that really took me back or anything, or it just looks like a normal kind of medium-sized stadium to me. Tennessee has everything it needs to be great. I don't know why we can't seem to get it together, but seeing these other places, there's no reason why we can't be great. Swain, that's really all I got to say. But that's just the only thing I could think about this weekend is we have no excuse not to be great.
Well, Jay,
we have a lot of things that a lot of other schools just don't have. Even the best schools that you may think, man, they may have it all. I'm telling you, they don't have it as nice as Tennessee has it. We just need to get our stuff together.
Well, I hope we figured it out, because it was never about material things. It was never about the buildings.
As you always say, power is in the people,
It was
not
always
the
about
buildings.
the people, man. And we lost sight of that. We lost sight of it. Coaches, administrators lost sight of what got Tennessee to where they were. As people, they lost sight of it. The same things you do to get your spouse or get that guy or get that girl, the same things you better keep doing to keep them. And we didn't do that. We didn't do that. As simple as that.
So we lost our girl.
The two things that I just covered of what we need to do: have a culture where your own players do the recruiting for you, and then what you were telling the players in recruiting matches what they are seeing on the football field on Saturdays. And that's what Clemson can do. And it wasn't always like that. It was a process for them. But they can say that. And they can still get players with a stadium that is inferior to Alabama Stadium, Tennessee Stadium, LSU Stadium, and inferior to Ohio State Stadium. Because it's about the people. And it seems like we're figuring that out here from everything I've seen in the last couple of months. But it must continue. Even when Tennessee is crawling and you reach to a point where you're feeling good about the distance you've traveled, you got to keep doing it, or you're gonna fall back down. It's the people. It's the people. Everyone has nice stadiums. Every school has rich donors and donate a lot of money. but it's the people that separates you from the others. And first time in a long time, I feel like we got the right people in place. I do. But they got work to do. And it's going to take some time for us to see the fruits of the labor in football. For Ben McKee, I'm Jason Swain. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of your morning to start your week this week. We'll be back same time tomorrow, 7 a.m. Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. For Ben McKee, I'm Jason Swain. Peace and much love. We are out.